But our focus is the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Thomas Frank really needs a win. Spurs Aston Villa in full with Michael Brown and Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Steve. Welcome, everyone, as Xavi Simons places the ball on the spot for Tottenham, who get us underway here against Aston Villa. And my word, aren't you right? How does Thomas Frank need a win this evening as the ball goes out of play for an Aston Villa throw? He admits at the moment, Frank, that it is a perfect storm at Tottenham, but he says there are two things you can do. You can build fences and hide behind them, or you can build windmills. You can take this energy and use all the pressure and the noise to build a bit of momentum. But it's Villa building the momentum early on here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Into the penalty area goes Donyell Malen, one of 6 changes that Unai Emery has made. Ollie Watkins, one of those, dropping to the bench. Tottenham with the interception, and they play it all the way back to Vicario. He's made 5 changes for this one, Thomas Frank, but he's pretty much gone as strong as he can. They are still beset by injuries and the suspension confirmed yesterday by the FA of their captain Christian Romero. So we'll take you through the lineups in a moment. Tottenham have won a free kick inside their own half, but let's head back to St James's Park and that penalty shootout between Newcastle and Bournemouth. Katie Smith.
Well, after 2 perfect penalties, we've had 3 misses in a row, or saves I should say. Voltemada off the crossbar, then Evan Nielsen steps up and it's saved by Ramsdale, and now Petrovic saves from the captain, from Guimaraes. It was at a perfect height. So now it is Cook for Bournemouth to give them the advantage. He stutters, oh, it's got a hand. Ramsdale gets a hand to it, but it just flips over and dribbles into the back of the net. So Bournemouth leading by 2 spot kicks to 1, Vicky.
Thank you, Katie. We'll be right back there for the conclusion of this shootout here on 5 Live. What an afternoon it's been here on 5 Live. Doesn't the FA Cup, particularly in the 3rd round, always bring the drama? As the ball goes out of play for an Aston Villa throw. Away to our left, Villa kicking from left to right in this first half. We've already had the greatest upset in FA Cup history. Macclesfield of the 6th tier beating the holders Crystal Palace by 2-1. That got things underway at lunchtime. And the drama doesn't stop with this game here. We've got Chelsea and Charlton coming up. Leon Rosenior's first game in charge for Chelsea later tonight. But our focus now at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as Aston Villa win a free kick. Again, just inside their own half, away to our left. And I can bring in the former Tottenham midfielder, Michael Brown. You were covering the Macclesfield game earlier. You've had a busy day. What a result.
Do you know, I've been blessed so far with that game, with the joy on people's faces. The FA Cup is in full flow. This round doesn't disappoint, does it? Hopefully, I haven't used it all up, and we're going to get a special game tonight in this wonderful stadium against 2 top teams who have gone very, very strong. That makes it even more exciting, doesn't it? I've just seen Xavi Simons go tight there, and Matty Cash got one on the toe, so it started lively, and you know, we're expecting goals.
So camera has been brought down here. Free kick to Aston Villa in the centre circle. Back to St James's Park. Katie Smith.
Alex Jimenez to take the advantage once again for Bournemouth. Tonali scoring his penalty for Newcastle. Stepping up, Jimenez, saved by Ramsdale. A big save by the man in purple against his former club, and he roars towards the Newcastle fans. So that is a miss for Bournemouth. We stand at 2 penalties apiece, and Ramsdale has walked all the way out of the penalty area, gathered the ball and put it in the arms of the big Brazilian with the blonde hair, Joe Linton, who now takes his time strolling towards the spot. We've had several misses, 4 in fact, 2 apiece for each of these Premier League sides in this game that has been floating and flying backwards and forwards here under the floodlights of St James's Park. This to give Newcastle the advantage once again. Joe Linton takes 3 strides backwards, pauses, staring down at the ball on the spot, runs up and sends it down the middle. Petrovic dives to his right, and Joe Linton roars now with delight. That is advantage back in the hands of the home side. They lead by 3 penalties to 2. And now Bournemouth are kicking to keep themselves in this FA Cup 3rd round tie. We've gone all the way to spot kicks, and it's going to be Marcus Senesi to take this crucial one now for the visitors. All the support staff lined up down on the touchline below me in the freezing cold conditions. We've been playing since 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're closing in on 6 p.m. The boos ringing around from the Newcastle fans. Senesi, stuttering run up, left-footed, and he strikes it home. So we continue on. 3 penalties apiece. Wow, the tension is ratcheting up, and now it is Lewis Hall, who came on in the second half in this game, who's going to take it for the home side. Ramsdale once again, as ever, handing him the ball. He's been the cup keeper for Newcastle. He's made a couple of crucial saves in this penalty shootout. We're into sudden death situation now. Lewis Hall standing over the ball, the 21-year-old who's got 2 goals for Newcastle already this season. He goes high. There's a hand to it from Petrovic, but it's not enough into the back of the net. So once again, advantage Newcastle. And the boos ringing out again. They're trying to make this as threatening as possible. James Hill, the Bournemouth defender, now fist bumps with Petrovic. These routines practiced by these teams in these moments, a pure drama, high tension, the stakes getting higher and higher. Ramsdale prowling around his goal line. James Hill, never scored for Bournemouth. This is a big, big penalty. This to keep them in the FA Cup. He runs up, and it just creeps above the hand of Ramsdale, who looks up to the skies in frustration. We continue on. Right, goal at Bristol City. Molly Stevens.
Yeah, Bristol City have the lead here inside 3 minutes. Across from the left, found Emil Rees, who slots the ball into the bottom left corner. It's Bristol City 1, Watford 0.
So Lewis Miley is next up for the home side. The 19-year-old, how's he going to deal with this pressure? We are into sudden death in the penalties. They have scored 4 apiece. Lewis Miley, cool as you like from the teenager. Newcastle kicking first in this shootout and continuing on. They have the advantage once again every time they score, asking the question of this Bournemouth team, who are leading for so much of normal time. And now they are having to come back each and every time. Truffert will be next. Bournemouth number 3, placing the ball down on the spot. Referee Thomas Bramall, just taking a few steps back, will now blow his whistle once again to keep Bournemouth in the tie. And Ramsdale doesn't move as the ball whips past his right-hand side. Let's head back to Spurs then and see what's going on there. Vicky Sparks.
Still goalless, 8 minutes gone, but you've missed barely anything. Boubacar Kamara has had to come off injured. Villa waiting to get Yuri Tillemans on. Villa in possession. 0-0, 8 minutes gone.
Penalties continue on here. FA Cup third round, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We'll be back with Vicky at Spurs as soon as this concludes. It is continuing on as this game has. Harvey Barnes, the late hero for Newcastle. Of course, he doesn't miss. Straight into the left-hand side netting. Petrovic had no chance against the man who scored their opener. He scored what they thought was a late winner in extra time. Right-footed, perfectly placed. That is now 11 goals for Harvey Barnes this season, and he scores a penalty as well. So 6 spot kicks have gone in for the home side for Newcastle. It is pressure back on the captain now of Bournemouth, Adam Smith. He's been at the club for well over a decade. The 34-year-old, hands on his hips. Ramsdale once again bouncing, clapping his hands in the goal. Stutters, Smith goes, and it just gets past Ramsdale. He thinks he saved it, but we continue on once again. Back to Vicky.
You've got all the drama where you are, Katie. Still 0-0 and nothing really happening at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as Aston Villa play it back to Marco Bizot in their goal. But there is a lot of singing at the moment from the Tottenham Hotspur fans how Thomas Frank needs to find a way somehow to get them onside. Goalless in the early stages here, 9.5 minutes played.
So 6 penalties apiece. We've had 2 saved for either side. Malik Chow now in the black and white of Newcastle, stutters, sends the ball though nicely floated towards the right hand side of the goal. Petrovic once again diving the wrong way, and this is just ratcheting up. So 7 penalties now scored by Newcastle, by the home side, and Bournemouth are going to have to match this again. Bafodi Diakite, the centre back, handed the ball by his goalkeeper, a clap on the back as he now strides up towards the 12-yard spot. The Frenchman never scored for Bournemouth. Now he's got a huge moment to keep them in the FA Cup. Has to score this then to continue on this third round tie that may never end. What drama, we love it here on 5 Live. He runs up and it's saved by Aaron Ramsdale, who points his right hand and his finger up towards the fans who have been with him throughout this shootout, throughout this tie. The outfield players come running towards their penalty hero, Aaron Ramsdale, who has put Newcastle into the 4th round of the FA Cup against his former side. This tie that has been twisting and turning. Looked like Bournemouth had won it in normal time. We went to extra time. Newcastle seconds away from taking it. Bournemouth equalised. We go to spot kicks. And finally, Newcastle, Vicky, have beaten Bournemouth on spot kicks and through to the 4th round of the FA Cup.
Thank you so much, Katie. We do love the drama here on 5 Live, and you haven't missed anything much at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 12 minutes gone. Donyell Marlin's had a shot for Villa, who are coming forward now and have won a corner over on that far side. Michael Brown.
Yeah, it's been stop-start, hasn't it? With a couple of moments where people have gone down injured. You've seen there Marlin coming in off that left-hand side, a wonderful strike, right-footed. It was dipping late. Unai Emery certainly liked it. He had a little bit of a jitter down in that technical area. But now a set piece, something for Spurs to get hold of. Can we get a little bit of an opportunity? Can we get a breakthrough because of the injury that we had? And it didn't look good, did it? Delayed for a long period of time there where we listened to more drama. I hope we've not used it up.
Keep believing, Michael. Keep believing, listeners. I'm sure there'll be drama here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They will, really, regardless of the result, because of the position that Tottenham are in with Frank, as Villa swing the corner in. It's over the head of Edri Konsa. John McGinn heads it forward, but it's claimed by Vicario. So yes, Boubacar Kamara having to go off injured for Aston Villa. Tielemans is on. We will take you through the lineups in a moment. 12 minutes in, and Villa already have had to make that early change. Here are Tottenham coming forward with Matthias Tell, though, and now Archie Gray. One of 5 changes that Thomas Frank has made, but they've largely been enforced as Tell plays it forward, looking for the run of Richarlison, and it's intercepted by Ezri Konsa. Plays it forward now to that early enforced substitute for Villa, Yuri Tielemans. Good challenge by Ben Davies, picked up now by Odobert, drives it straight at Marco Bizot. One of 6 Villa changes. Emi Martinez out injured, but Bizot may well have got the nod for this one. Anyway, so as Villa play it around at the back, playing in their changed dark strip with the white socks, giving it away. Still can't bring in the team news. Here's Ben Davies, plays it forward. Xavi Simons, almost dispossessed, falls to João Palhinha. Out to the right-hand side he goes, and it's picked up once more by Tottenham. Pedro Porro will pick it up and plays it into the area, blocked away by Emi Buendia and Matson between them for Aston Villa. So Tottenham work it all the way back to João Palhinha, just inside the Aston Villa half. Out to the right-hand side they go now, and Archie Gray picked up once more by Porro and walked back to the halfway line. Danso now squares it to Van der Ven. Come on, you Spurs, is the chants ringing around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Thomas Frank will hope that the chants stay of that positive ilk, because they haven't been in recent weeks at times in games. Tottenham fans hugely frustrated about the way the side are playing, the results that they're getting, as Matty Cash does well to win that ball away from Tell, prevents the corner as well, and Aston Villa play it to the edge of their own penalty area. They work that nicely, lovely little drag back by Emi Buendia as Morgan Rogers tries to bring it forward. That's intercepted by Van der Ven. He's busted a gut to get out to the right wing there and keep that ball in, and he's going down the right wing now, Mickey Van der Ven. The centre half out to the right hand side, finally lays it off to Archie Gray, swings it infield. It's over the head of Xavi Simons, finds Matthias Tell, left hand side of the area, trying to work room for the shot, can't do so, lays it off to Porro, who can't latch onto it, and picked up now by Danso, plays it forward. to Archie Gray, midway through the Villa half, central position, out to the left-hand side, and Joao Palhinha stops and checks. But this is a good spell for Tottenham as Ben Davies swings the ball into the area. It's poor, it's over the head of Richarlison, and Martin can chest it back to Bizot. I'm going to do the teams now. Sorry, Michael Brown, otherwise we're never going to get them done. Vicario in goal for Tottenham. The back four of Porro, Danso, Van de Ven and Davies. Ahead of them it's Palhinha and Gray, with Odobert, Simons and Tell supporting Richarlison up front. As Villa launch the ball over the halfway line, Daniel Marlin will chase it. Danso is there. Bit of a missed kick clearance for Tottenham, but Porro helps him out and steers it back to Vicario. So Villa with 6 changes. Bizot in goal. The back four of Cash, Konsa, Torres and Martson. Bogard, and it was Kamara, but he's gone off injured, so Tielemans has come on for him already. Then McGinn, Rodgers and Buendia supporting Daniel Marlin up top. What would you like to discuss, Michael Brown?
It's got going now. Do you know, you can see the intensity. Spurs have been criticised for not going forward, but the last few moments they've passed quickly. There's been some runs in behind. We've seen that big long diagonal pass into Tell. Good recovery from Matty Cash, and then a wonderful little touch in the middle of the pitch when Dia, fantastic, and then there was no build up from there. Villa tried to sneak up, squeezing the pitch, but we're now starting to see some quality, some good movement, some probing, trying to create some opportunities.
Well, it is a huge game. They all feel like huge games at the moment for Thomas Frank. As Xavi Simons picks it up, he stands on the edge of his technical area with his arms folded. Forward now from Archie Gray, and Xavi Simons spreads it out to the right-hand side, and Pedro Porro thought about taking on Martson, but no way through, so rolls it back to Danso. And for the suspended Christian Romero, who was given an additional 1-match ban by the FA just yesterday for his response to being sent off by against Liverpool last month. He'd already served the suspension for that game, but charged for his behaviour as Ben Davies pulls the ball across in the area. It's cleared away eventually off Tell, and that should be a Villa throw. And it is, but not ideal preparation, is it? You know, I know these disciplinary procedures take time, but for that to come, you know, and Tottenham found out when the rest of us did, when the FA announced it yesterday, and suddenly you've been preparing, you know, short turnaround, yes, from the defeat at Bournemouth for this game, and suddenly your captain's suspended.
Yeah, I mean, they surely were aware of some sort of situation, you would guess, the football club, but it's what happens. People making decisions. We still are never going to sort this disciplinary procedure out, whether we all like it or whether we don't. We don't always agree. It was like rolling back the clock there, weren't we? In the left back, when Davies going all the way into the box, long diagonal again. That's something they're working on. Again, here we go. They're going to try go back to front, aren't they? A little bit quicker to push Villa back.
Yeah, rare start for Ben Davies. That is probably the only one of the 5 changes, though, from Thomas Frank that you would say isn't enforced, as Xavi Simons picks the ball up. Tottenham has started brightly here, just inside the Villa penalty area. Now forced backward to Joao Palhinha, out to the right-hand side, and Pedro Porro. Lovely ball across, and Matthias Tell on the volley gets that all wrong. So wrong that it spins out for a throw over on the far side, about 6 yards up from the touchline. But overall, Tottenham playing some nice stuff.
That was tougher than you think, though. Do you know, because what he's tried to do, hit it first time, and it's come across fast. He's tried to sidewind it rather than take a touch inside the left and sort of area of the penalty box, and it's all sort of hip height, and he tries to strike it to goal, but it's difficult. Catches it a little bit thick, but see how quick Porro put it across. Fizzed it with pace, intensity. You see they're going to try and do that. They're going to be a little bit braver. They will leave it open though, and that's where Villa will just sit, wait, and try and just pick them off.
So Aston Villa with the goal kick eventually, and it has been worked, and
look at that 2 for 2 right in the box, the penalty area.
Yep.
They're just setting up. 2 of them are across the 6-yard area, on the edge of the halfway line. You see Ben Davies is waiting, see if he can go tight. Danso also.
Yeah, it's a bit of a risk from Tottenham, but it might pay dividends as Danso wins that header. It's cleared away by Pedro Porro and brought down by Ian Martson, and now intercepted by Imi Buendia. Talk about a throwback to yesteryear. Tottenham are actually playing with commemorative shirts today to mark their first ever FA Cup win when they lifted the trophy 125 years ago this year as a non-league team against Sheffield United, the only time a team from non-league has won the FA Cup. So it is the white shirts, but it's modelled with the long sleeves after the fashion of 1901, as Aston Villa pick up the ball just inside their own half. And also, as it was 125 years ago, there's no names on the shirts. We've just got these emblazoned dark numbers on the white shirts. Would I be lying to say as a commentator that I was delighted when I saw that was the case? I would. But still, they are a lovely piece of history as the ball is headed behind for an Aston Villa corner.
Yeah, they look well. The kit is always decent here. Except when you've got to wear it, that tight one, that Kappa one I had to wear with the old, was it Tommy on the front? I was like, oof, I better get myself in shape. Didn't need Christmas. Managed to just get in it though, all right for keep. But now, forget the kit. They want more history, don't they, here in this wonderful stadium. Now a set piece. John McGinn just set that attack off, and now he's got to deliver.
And he stands with his right arm raised on this near side, swings it into the edge of the 6-yard box. Tottenham make first contact through Van der Ven, steer back in by Maatsen. Davis trying to clear it, Tottenham appealing for a handball, and that is given by our referee Craig Pawson, and it will be a free kick to Tottenham. They're taking it from the edge of their own penalty area, looking for the run of Richarlison, but it's chested down by Maatsen and collected by Matty Cash midway through the Aston Villa half. 20 minutes gone. Tottenham 0, Aston Villa 0, as Thomas Frank still stands motionless with his arms folded on the edge of his technical area. I quite liked his storm analogy coming into this, basically saying, look, he knows it's a bit of a perfect storm at the moment, but you can either hide behind a fence or you can try and build a windmill, you know, use all that energy and noise and learn from it and try and do what you can with that noise. As Villa come into the area, Emi Buendia, brilliant opener, lovely sweeping Aston Villa move. And the mood around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium sours once again early on. More trouble for Tottenham and Thomas Frank. It's a super Villa goal, finished off quite beautifully on the edge of the 6-yard box by Buendia, smashes it into the roof of the net, and Aston Villa have the early lead at Tottenham, 1-0.
That's a brilliant goal. It's all about quality, but they're just trying to sneak forward. Once the pass goes into McGinn, little one round the corner, and then it's the reverse pass late here, and then Buendia just gets forward. He never in doubt for me. I sort of put my hand up, didn't I, before it went in. I thought, this is a goal, he's too close, he's comfortable in this area. The goalkeeper comes tight to him as he approaches the 6-yard area. He doesn't go across him, he goes right in the roof of the net. Really high, top quality. Unai Emery celebrating, but the pass is what made it initially.
Well, he got the late winner against Tottenham here in the Premier League earlier this season, Emi Buendia. He's now on 6 for the campaign. And it is the Aston Villa away contingent away to our left that are bouncing, that are singing, that are celebrating. As Xavi Simons can't make much of that ball on the edge of the Villa penalty area. And it's cleared away by Aston Villa. And the Tottenham fans have fallen silent and ponder what this future looks like under Thomas Frank, because as Villa pick it up just inside their own half. Yes, Premier League teams have been knocked out of the FA Cup. We mentioned Crystal Palace and the struggles that they're having at the moment under Oliver Glasner. The biggest upset in FA Cup history that we brought to you on 5 Live this lunchtime, losing to 6th tier Macclesfield. But there are defeats that feed into the narrative of what's going on with the club. And that is exactly what was happening with Tottenham as Villa come forward again and Marlon wins another corner.
The two wider ones in McGinn and Buendia are killing him. Paulinho doesn't know where to look. Archie Gray, they're in as a 2 almost. So they're looking in behind him. Once there's no pressure on the ball in the middle, they just drift inside and they time it perfect. Ball comes in, that straight one with pace, and then they're off and running. And then they're all like red arrows, aren't they? You know, coming in quickly. Runners, intensity. It's clever play.
And Tottenham's bright start is fizzling out in front of their eyes, because Villa at the moment are on top. They lead by a goal to 0. This time they take the corner short. Here's Maatsen, left-hand side of the Tottenham penalty area, comes out to Matty Cash, 25 yards out, he's going to go for goal. It's palmed away by Vicario, out of the penalty area, picked up by Villa's goal scorer Emi Buendia, whipped into the area once again, this time by Maatsen, picked up by Tottenham, but they've lost it once more. And here goes Yuri Tillemans. Can't quite hold on to it, and Tal will pick it up for Tottenham. Down the right-hand side he goes. Tillemans racing to get back and makes the block. And again, the cheers you hear are from the Villa fans. Michael Brown.
Yuri Tillemans was sat keeping warm, just thinking I won't be needed till the second half. Out quickly, 2 or 3 minutes, jumped up, got warm straight away. Great challenge right across, involved in the goal initially. Just getting another look at that Matty Cash effort. 25 yards out, central. You know he can hit it well. He hits it straight. It's got pace and tempo, but straight at the goalkeeper.
Tottenham trying to retain possession over on that far side, and they do win another throw midway through their own half. So, other 5:45s in the FA Cup. Let's head to Grimsby against Weston-super-Mare, George Osaka.
Grimsby 0, Weston-super-Mare 0. After Macclesfield's exploits earlier today, Weston-super-Mare looking to become the second 6th-tier side to reach round 4. Very even game this so far. Weston will fancy this, they're second in their league. They've had a shot saved through Luke Kilson. Grimsby 1 effort wide so far. Grimsby 0, Weston-super-Mare 0.
And you can listen to that game over on Sports Extra 3. Just go to BBC Sound, scroll through the radio stations and find Sports Extra 3 here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is still Tottenham 0, Aston Villa 1 at the grounds where Spurs fans have endured so much misery, particularly in the league in the last year, as that header is won by Matty Cash, flicked behind. Now it would have gone for a corner, but referee Craig Pawson deems that there was a foul on Cash there, so it's a free kick to Villa inside their own penalty area. Let's head to Cambridge against Birmingham. John Hunt.
Dull game, all the possession with Birmingham, but they've had no chances. Just one chance for Cambridge. Liam Bennett with an early shot, which was comfortably saved. The crowd just whispering amongst themselves. Very little atmosphere, very little quality. It's Cambridge 0, Birmingham 0.
And Sports Extra 2 is your station if you would like to listen to full commentary of that this evening, as Doniel Marlin won't keep that ball in. Throw to Tottenham over on that far side. Yes, Tottenham's home league form in 2025 is actually their worst on record, 11 defeats. But it's weird, isn't it? Because they actually won 8 of their 9 home games in cup competitions last calendar year. So I think we all have this impression of the home form being so poor for Spurs, and generally it is in the league. But in the cup competitions, sometimes they seem to find a way at this stadium, but they trail Villa by 1-0.
Yeah, but the pressure builds because of your league form. I think that's the one. Mostly Spurs have history in cups. The demands on these players and sort of yo-yo feel, that Spurs tag that keeps coming their way. You felt like Thomas Frank was the man to create stability, make them harder to beat, and now it's gone the opposite because you're not getting results. They're saying it's boring, there's no tempo, we're not going anywhere, we're not getting enough shots out, you know, not even there. Then now he's undid his hamstring. I thought something happened.
Oh, it's the last thing that Thomas Frank needs, and I'm just leaning forward from our commentary position, and he has turned away in disgust and walked back to his bench because Richarlison has gone down, and Michael Brown, as you say, he grabs his hamstring, and usually there's only one outcome when that happens. So Richarlison down, the medical staff are on. More misery for Tottenham. Let's head to Bristol City against Watford. Molly Stevens.
Whereas Bristol City 1, Watford 0. It's fallen a bit quiet at Ashton Gate since the opener for Bristol City's Emil Rees. Watford have had the best of the chances though. Vivaldo Semedo sent a shot over the crossbar, but other than that, lacking so far. Bristol City 1, Watford 0.
And Sports Extra is your station if you'd like to listen to full commentary of that. So, Richarlison down. Let me just run you through the players that Tottenham are missing at the moment, and this will include if Richarlison goes off. Romero is suspended for this one. They've got Kulusevski out, Maddison still, Solanke. Udogie is actually back on the bench today, but Kudus was confirmed this week. He's not going to be back until April because of a thigh injury. Bentancur's out with a hamstring injury. He came off in their last game against Bournemouth. Bergvall hasn't made it today, also came off against Bournemouth. They've got Ibasuma, who hasn't played for them this season, to be fair, away at the African Cup of Nations, as is Pat Matasar. I mean, circumstances are not helping Thomas Frank here, as Richarlison is up to his feet but doesn't look as though he's going to be able to continue.
Do you know what's amazing? And it is a real uphill challenge when you're losing all those players. It was the same last season. So what is it here that we can't get the players conditioned? Is it the style of player that we're signing? Is it just the training methods? Is it just pure unlucky? Are we asking them to go from slow play to really fast sprint distances? I just thought there, why was he not pressing? You're right at the end of it, and then straight away I've gone, right, he's gone. And that's a big miss. But then you think, right, who's next? Who can come on for him? Or people will say, right, Solanke, but then you'll say, well, look at the minutes on the clock. we might not be able to do that yet. So we'll see.
Yep, true. Solanke, I should have said, back on the bench as well for Tottenham this evening, and that is a boost for them. We didn't expect Udogie and Solanke to be available. It might have been that they essentially patched up to
Kolo Muani. I just wondered who he was going to change and what he was going to do. But do you know what? Spurs had done all right there, but the quality of this goal was so simple because they did it so well.
So Tottenham in possession with Matthias Tell. Tottenham have lost Richarlison through injury. Tottenham trail by a goal to nil with half an hour gone here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And Tottenham, who have won a free kick just inside their own half, and there is that change. Top scorer Richarlison off injured, and Randall Kolo Muani. 2 goals for the season. Brace came in the Champions League in that thrilling defeat by Paris Saint-Germain is on, and the problems mount for Thomas Frank.
Do you know, when you look at these supporters and you sort of say the pressure's increasing because league form, etc., and then you go, well, of all competitions that Spurs expect to go through, it's this one, isn't it, in this round? That's the added one for this sort of game today.
Emi Buendia trying to marshal that ball out of play, can't do so. In fact, he does do so. It's a throw to Villa on the far side. Goal in the tie between Cambridge and Birmingham. John Hunt.
Goal to the Championship side. Birmingham ahead. It's been a scruffy game, but they put some pressure on Cambridge just on the half hour. The ball on the edge of the area fell to Kai Wagner, playing only his second start for Birmingham City. He smashed a good shot, which took a big deflection, and that went past Jake Eastwood to give Birmingham the lead. Cambridge 0, Birmingham 1.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra 2. Bizot has the ball for Aston Villa just outside his own penalty area. They lead by a goal to nil. Yeah, I'm talking about Tottenham's FA Cup records. They have progressed from the last 11 third-round ties. They haven't failed to reach the 4th round since 2014, although, to be fair, it was Aston Villa who knocked them out of the competition last season at Villa Park. And they lead by a goal to nil here as Emi Buendia under pressure just outside his own penalty area. Works it back to Yuri Tillemans. Morgan Rogers can't keep hold of it though. And here goes Odebear down that right-hand side for Tottenham as well. Blocked away by Buendia. The ball goes out of play for a Tottenham throw. Michael Brown.
Yeah, it's gone a little bit quiet in the stadium from that excitement at the start when you hear those fans get behind the team, and then it looked like they were on the front foot. They had confidence, they had belief. They were moving and causing Aston Villa problems, but I did say, didn't I, the second you open up, this Villa side have got real quality players and a top manager. Do you know what they seem to be, this side? Like, experienced, quite savvy, quite know the way around how to get results at the right time.
So free kick to Aston Villa just outside their own penalty area. Yuri Tillemans has taken a bit of a knock there, and referee Craig Pawson is just coming over to check he's okay. It's Villa who lead by a goal to nil on a quite remarkable day of FA Cup drama here on 5 Live. The biggest shock in FA Cup history kicks it all off this lunchtime. 6th tier Macclesfield of the National League North beating the holders Crystal Palace 2-1. 117 places between them. What a journey it's been for Macclesfield, only reformed of course in 2020. Rose from the 9th to the 6th tier, and now what a wonderful piece of FA Cup history as Aston Villa come down the left hand side. It's Donyell Marland down to the byline, pulls it across looking for McGinn, cleared away at the back by Ben Davies, out for an Aston Villa throw.
Yeah, it was a good run down the left hand side, and that experience, Ben Davies coming across 6-yard area, it's exactly where it needs to be. They were queuing up.
And they're queuing up again. Matty Cash trying to latch onto that ball into the area. It's headed behind by Ben Davies for an Aston Villa corner. Villa who lead by a goal to nil here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Yeah, Matty Cash really enjoying his football, performing well with a real smile. You know, sometimes you come of age and you go, right, I know exactly what's coming my way. You get a little bit better, in fact, rather than people start to say, well, where's it going to end up? But overloading here now in the wider area. I'm going to go short.
They do. John McGinn plays it to Emi Buendia, the goal scorer, who now does swing it in. It's flicked away by Colin Moani for Tottenham. Comes out to the edge of the area. The shot driven in eventually by Morgan Rogers, spins away to Esri Konsa, who's still up from the back. He tries to play it in, can't be controlled in the area for Villa as the shot is whipped in by Rogers once more, blocks away by Tottenham, forward again by Villa. Tottenham just can't latch hold of it. They do now with Matthias Tell, infield now to Joao Palhinha, lovely bit of footwork to evade the press, and here goes Javi Simons. He's got Colin Moani ahead of him, but Colin Moani rather got in his way there. Aston Villa get the foot in and win possession in the centre circle, and they're all just saying now, the Villa players, let's just slow it down. We're leading by a goal to nil. We know that we're playing against a Tottenham side that are under real pressure at the moment, a side that we've already beaten here this season in the Premier League in October, a side that we knocked out of the FA Cup last season. Villa feel, you can tell by the way they're playing, the confidence with which they're passing the ball, that they're in a good position here. They don't need to force it. It is their fans who are singing, and a sullen silence has fallen amongst the Spurs fans, because it feels at the moment like more of the same. Although they did start brightly, they've seen Richarlison go off injured, they've seen Buendia score, and they see their team trail by a goal to nil as Matty Cash picks it up over on this right hand side, well pressured by Matthias Tell. Cash all the way back to Michael Brown.
Yeah, they're putting the pressure on, aren't they, there? Villa just forcing mistakes. But someone we hadn't mentioned, Morgan Rogers, and all of a sudden he comes edge of the area, gets a couple of shots, he wants a piece of it. They're just getting into good positions here. It's just that end pass there for Spurs as it breaks down the left hand side, and you just hear that rumbling. That's why I think it makes it harder, that oof. It puts a player into making different decisions. You've got to try and think, you've got to forget that, not to force it, just because the crowd are up asking the questions.
Aston Villa in possession on the halfway line. They've been asking questions publicly as well. The Tottenham fans, their main supporters group, the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, met with senior club figures yesterday actually, and then issued a statement accusing the club of a dramatic fall in ambition. Loads of things they weren't happy with. Thomas Frank's perceived playing down of where Tottenham are at, players directly confronting the fans after the Bournemouth game, the embarrassment of Romero's social media post where he had to dig at the hierarchy as Morgan Rogers drags the ball across the 6-yard box and out for a Tottenham goal kick. That was a bizarre thing as well, wasn't it? Christian Romero, Thomas Frank having to defend his captain after he put a post on social media essentially looking as though he'd had a dig at the hierarchy. He appeared to accuse them of only showing up when things are going well to tell a few lies, and then edited it to take out the tell a few lies line. But the post, even edited, was still pretty strong about people only showing up when things go well, as Villa again come forward. That ball is intercepted on the edge of the penalty area and flicked out to the left hand side by Yuri Tillemans. Will be kept in by Markson. Will be heading to Bristol City in a moment, but Aston Villa coming forward again down this left hand side. Here's Emi Buendia, picked up by Markson once more and roll back to Tillemans. Aston Villa leading by a goal to nil as they work it around and go back to halfway. So come in Molly Stevens, Bristol City against Watford.
Yeah, Bristol City have doubled their lead. Anis Mehmeti, their top scorer, with his 9th of the season. Lovely link up between him and the earlier goal scorer Emil Rees. Nicely slots the ball into the path of Mehmeti on the left hand side for the goal into the bottom right hand corner. Bristol City 2, Watford 0.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. Out to the left hand side, go Villa once more.
This build up is fantastic. Look at the confidence of these Villa players. They've got great here. If this comes off, it'd be a brilliant goal. There was so many passes, slick, controlled, saying give me the ball, everybody wanted it. Good block at the end, but really good passage from Villa.
Yeah, Donya Marlon winning the corner. A smattering of boos from the Tottenham fans away to our right. Now, I can't really tell if they're for Matty Cash, who's not a popular figure here, or if they're starting to be towards their own players, and that is the difficulty. That's the thing, that, you know, everybody here, I'm looking around the press box, looking down at Thomas Frank, all eyes are on him. Then all eyes are on the Tottenham crowd to see what the response is. It just feels like such a frosty atmosphere, and that's not, because it's about 1 degree here in North London as Aston Villa prepared to take this corner. They're leading by a goal to nil. They played it short a couple of times, but this time it looks as though they were swinging into that crowded 6-yard box, and that's what they do. Good header away by Kevin Danso. Javi Simons is trying to latch onto it for Tottenham, but it's covered well by Martson and picked up by Bizot.
Let's look at the set pieces there. They're trying to really pull Spurs on that front post and create a 2v1. They could have used it actually. Spurs were unsure how to set up against a big risk there.
Yeah, Bizot clearing away off Kolomouani. It's blocked by him, picked up eventually by Archie Gray. And here comes Tottenham. Hotspur swings the ball into the area, it's blocked away, but Pau Torres won't prevent the corner, and suddenly, out of nothing, all through their own making, Aston Villa hand Tottenham a set piece on a plate.
Yeah, Hotspur gets into a position where he wants to be. Can he go 1v1? Can he look across? Is there a pass on? A slide? But he doesn't. He sort of hits it early. He gets fortunate, really. Not really convincing with the quality. 2 blockers now on the penalty spot. Just looking for Aston Villa. 3 or 4 on the edge of the 6-yard box. Look, they've got 3 up, Villa. They said, OK, we fancy our chances. 3v3 on the edge of the area here.
So here comes this corner for Tottenham from the right-hand side. It's sung towards Danso, who does meet it, but his header is over the bar. Goal at Grimsby against Weston-super-Mare, Shoto Saka.
It's the League Two side who have gone ahead. Grimsby 1, Weston-super-Mare 0. Charles Vernam cutting in from the left, a 20-yard curler over the keeper's diving left hand. He specialises in those. Grimsby 1, Weston-super-Mare 0.
And commentary continues over on Sports Extra 3. As the ball goes out of play for a throw to Aston Villa. Well, had a little bit of drama here, Michael Brown, so far. As in, we've had an Aston Villa goal, but the drama that we've brought you once more on this FA Cup afternoon has been thrilling. Macclesfield beating the holders, Crystal Palace, the biggest upset in FA Cup history. And I have to say, if you want to relive that, particularly the last 15 minutes, then head to the BBC Sounds app. You can go to the 5 Live schedules and listen to the commentary of John Murray and Paul Robinson. It was absolutely masterful. And unless you're a Crystal Palace fan, if you're a Macclesfield fan, of course, but if you just want to relive a bit of the magic of the FA Cup, one of the most magical moments in FA Cup history, why not give that a listen? You can watch the highlights on Match of the Day tonight, 10:40 on BBC One. And this match, incidentally, as well, is on BBC One if you're just getting home and you want to switch over to the TV pictures. We are always delighted to have your company here on 5 Live as Xavi Simons picks up the ball, drives towards the area. It's a really good run, and Kolomouani digs it in. The flag's up on the far side. On-field decision is to rule the goal out for offside. He did look off Michael Brown. It was a clear goal-scoring opportunity, which is why they allow play to continue. Let's have a look at this replay. And he was off, and we have to say as well, important to mention, we don't have VAR. We don't have it in the 3rd round, we don't have it in the 4th round. It only comes in the 5th round. That's basically to try and give a level playing field for all of the ties, although there is goal line technology in the Premier League and Championship grounds, but no VAR. So it feels quite strange, doesn't it? The decision on the pitch just stays the decision on the pitch. I'm not used to this anymore.
Well, that's it. It is what it is. But, you know, can they get them right? I think that's the point, isn't it? Kolomouani just comes into play right inside of the box, dinks it over the goalkeeper. Good finish, but the flag was straight up.
And Villa coming forward once more. It's been given away. And Joao Palhinha bring it forward for Tottenham, intercepted by Aston Villa. And Lamar Bogard, and all the way back with Bizot. Half-time in the Champions Cup in the rugby. Sale lead Durban Sharks 7-3, and Leinster 12-7 up against La Rochelle. Where should we go next here on 5 Live? Goal at Cambridge. John Hunt.
Goal for Birmingham, bit of a nightmare this for the Cambridge defence. Deep in their own half, they lost the ball. Kyogo snapped through, 1-against-1 on the keeper, and the former Celtic man, rumours that he might go back there shortly anyway. He was absolutely emphatic with his finish. So it's Cambridge 0, Birmingham City 2, nearing half-time. A long way back now for the League Two side.
Thanks, John. And commentary continues over on Sports Extra 2. So, Tottenham with a free kick. 1/3 of the way inside the Aston Villa half. Pedro Porro is over this. Villa who lead by 1-0. 2 minutes plus added time to play here in the first half at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And having had that goal ruled out for Randall Kolomouani, who's come on for the injured Richarlison, can Tottenham fashion another opportunity in a first half that it's fair to say hasn't been strewn with them. Matthias Tell picks the ball up from that free kick. Nice turn down the left-hand side as well, held up by John McGinn, but does get the delivery in, and Kevin Danso was there arriving from 12 yards and can only steer his shots wide.
He does well down the left, doesn't he? He gets the cross in, Tell swished right and then left, and all the way across. Danso comes with that left foot central, just around the penalty spot, tries to just turn it in. He doesn't catch it right. It's a difficult one as he just bounces in front. These goal kicks are really interesting, really short, 2 for 2. I can keep saying, and Davies just gets it in front, sorts that one out, but Spurs are trying to press.
And they've run it with Javi Simon, spins away from Konsa. Felt he was fouled there.
That's a foul. He's got to give it. It's an easy one. Look at Tielemans there. Fantastic change of direction. Under pressure from Paulinho, and they're away. Referee gets that one wrong.
Yeah, didn't blow the whistle. Craig Paulson and Villa are playing on. And John McGinn did get barged over there, and you could hear the response from the Tottenham fans as Emi Buendia takes that free kick quickly, and really well switched on was Porro there. Not all the Tottenham defenders were, but he saw the early delivery on the edge of the box and nods it back to Vicario. Tottenham 0, Villa 1, and we're into added time. There will be 5 minutes at the end of this first half. I wondered whether there might be a bit more.
Yeah, I did as well. I thought definitely more, because we went for penalties for so long, and players were down, and
yeah, Richarlison going off as well, but it is only the 5 minutes. That epic penalty shootout eventually won by Newcastle, 3-3 with Bournemouth after extra time, and eventually Newcastle prevailing at St James's Park as Villa have the ball midway through their own half and just slowed the play down. Other standout results this afternoon in this thrilling afternoon of third round action. Manchester City beating Exeter by 10-1. Sunderland beating Everton on penalties after a 1-1 draw. Also through Wolves, Burnley, Fulham, Brentford, Leicester, Burton Albion, Southampton, Ipswich and Stoke. All the scores on the BBC Sport website, and all the goals you can catch up with on Match of the Day tonight, BBC One at 10:40. Here is Matty Cash for Aston Villa. Plays the ball in field to Youri Tielemans. Aston Villa, 7-time winners of this competition, at last in 1957. They've only reached 2 finals in the FA Cup since then as well. Leading Tottenham by a goal to 0. Morgan Rogers comes down the right hand side. Lovely ball into McGinn inside the penalty area. Donyell Marlin takes the touch, comes back to McGinn, who tries to place it, and Vicario reads it all the way.
Yeah, it was clever from John McGinn, but there's no pace on it, was there? As he tries to switch it up, but a long punt forward. Fans don't like that to nobody, but you know, if he's not sure, don't take the risk. It wasn't the worst of things that we've seen today, but this is what we don't need. I think at the end of this first half here, I think the reaction is going to be interesting. Whether the fans get behind him, whether they boo, because that could, so just a little bit of one of those where it changes what happens in the dressing room. A little something to go at, and I know the Spurs players have to do it and have to earn it.
There goes Tielemans, ball into the area, nodded away by Ben Davis, out to this right hand side and picked up by Tell, but plays it away only as far as Bogard, and Aston Villa will come forward once again. Here's Donyell Marlin, right hand side, he's popping up now, almost finds Buendia, it's Morgan Rogers, it's 2-0 to Aston Villa, and Tottenham were shredded there by some insightful, incisive Aston Villa passing around the penalty area, and Thomas Frank stands motionless as the pressure increases on the beleaguered Spurs boss. Tottenham 0, Aston Villa 2.
Well, you talked about being picked off. The one-touch football, sensational, and it did start with that pass forward. They didn't need to lose the possession, but then watch Villa capitalise. There's little passes inside, anywhere near Rodgers. It was Tell on the left-hand side, and the overloads are there. And it's another one of these touches. We've seen a couple of them. That reverse from Buendia, whether it be McGinn, whether it be Buendia coming inside. It's clever. They understand where the teammates are. It just takes people out. Then Rodgers pushes it central of the penalty area. And once he's there, after that first touch, gives him space, opens up that far corner, drills it in. To the bottom corner, Thomas Frank, the disappointment on his face as his head just goes back. I asked what they'd be like, the reaction. I think I can confirm what it's going to be like now.
It is going to be toxic here at Tottenham. Thomas Frank looking to the heavens, spitting out his chewing gum. Not the best lip reader in Danish, but he knows how damaging that goal could be as Aston Villa win a free kick just outside their own penalty area. Look How would you assess, objectively, taking almost the context of this game away from it, Tottenham's performance in this first half?
Well, I think you can hear some real disappointing chance you're getting sacked in the morning, but how do I look at it? Right, I think Spurs have contributed. I think they played some nice stuff. The final third, some of the passes haven't gone like you would expect, but you know what Villa have just done? Like I said, savvy, organised, they've just picked him off. Spurs are coming out, and do you know then when people say, why does Thomas Frank stay in? Because they haven't got that side of it right yet. So has he had time to find the balance? He has to. It's not whether he has or he hasn't. He's got to find the formula that makes them more consistent. As soon as they've opened up, they've just been picked away, haven't they?
Thomas Frank has just picked up the ball there. Aston Villa have a throw, so he was just picking up in his technical area. There were a smattering of boos as he touched the ball there from the Tottenham fans. I mean, that is the feeling around the stadium. And there's frustration broadly. There's frustration at the hierarchy. There's frustration at the way that the relationship between the players and the fans at times has broken down, those angry confrontations after Bournemouth. But there is so much frustration targeted at that man down below our commentary position, Thomas Frank, as Aston Villa concede a throw just inside the Tottenham half.
It can't be every manager's fault though, can it? Do you know, I think that's something we have to look at. Do you know, as the club made mistakes, yes. Have managers, of course. Can players do better performance-wise? Of course we can. But that, there you go, is the answer what we expected.
Boos at half-time. Thomas Frank jogs back to his seat, grabs a piece of paper and hot-foots it down the tunnel. This is a huge 45 minutes in his Tottenham career. The pressure has been increasing and increasing and increasing, and you just wonder, if they lose here, where does he go from here? Where do Tottenham go from here? How long do they keep backing him when the fans are turning and have turned as they have done? It's a huge 45 minutes coming up, Michael Brown.
No, I think what you've got to look at is a manager with great experience. He's had time to build a squad elsewhere. He's come into a much bigger place. We get that, but it can't just happen overnight. Every manager's come in and tried it, and he'll be the first to admit. I feel like he's very honest. Do you know, he understands, he assesses it well. He even look at his own performance and take the criticism. But for it just to keep changing, to keep doing different things, to keep this problem, this up and down type feeling here at this football club is something that's got to change. So let's have a reaction, let's find a formula, and let's hope it's a better second half for Spurs. But for Villa, they were excellent on the counter, really good touches, playing with confidence and real quality at the top of the pitch.
What a second half we have in store. Could it be pivotal in the reign of Thomas Frank here? Half-time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 0, Aston Villa 2.
Yeah, sometimes in the FA Cup, even if it isn't a big shock, you can get a big story, and that sounds pretty toxic for Thomas Frank. On the pitch, not looking like many FA Cup shocks in the 5:45s. It's been a big day for one team in National League North. What about Western-super-Mare of National League South at League 2, Grimsby? Shojo Saka.
Well, half-time, Grimsby 1, Western-super-Mare 0. Western started this so well against higher opposition, but League 2 Grimsby grew in confidence as the first half went on. Jude Soonsup-Bell almost scored with a flicked header before winger Charles Vernam did find the net with a lovely curling shot from the edge of the box. His 8th goal this season. 6th-tier Western are behind, but by no means out of this. Half-time, Grimsby 1, Western-super-Mare 0.
Half-time in League 2, Cambridge against Birmingham of the Championship. John Hunt.
Cambridge 0, Birmingham City 2. Birmingham, good value for that margin of the lead at the half-time. To be honest with you, Cambridge, their forward line has been struggling against Birmingham's defence, who looks very, very solid. They did have a couple of half chances, but Kai Wagner on half hour with his first goal for Birmingham on only his second start, he opened the scoring, and then just before half-time, Kyogo clean through, smashed it past goalkeeper Jake Eastwood, and Birmingham firmly in the driving seat. Cambridge 0, Birmingham 2.
Half-time in the Old Championship tie at Ashton Gate, Molly Stevens.
Bristol City 2, Watford 0. Fairly comfortable for the horse so far. Emil Rees got there first, just 2 minutes in. He assisted the second. Their top scorer, Anis Mehmeti, found the bottom right corner. Watford with chances, but without a shot on target. A 2-goal cushion for Bristol City at the break.
I remember Charlton Chelsea to come in full in the FA Cup at 8 o'clock, so no shocks on the cards yet in the 5:45 games. Didn't have one at all in the 3 o'clocks. But we certainly got our fill in that early game. National League North, Macclesfield. causing possibly the biggest ever FA Cup shock, beating the holders Crystal Palace by 2-1, the first ever 6th tier side to beat a top tier team in the FA Cup. Elsewhere, Manchester City beat Exeter City 10-1. That is the biggest win by a top flight side in the FA Cup since 1960. 2 all Premier League ties were won on penalties. Newcastle and Sunderland both going through. Newcastle victorious over Bournemouth. Sunderland beat Everton. In the Scottish Premiership, Celtic have moved above Rangers. They are level on points with them and they are both 3 points behind the leaders' Hearts. Celtic beat Dundee United by 4-0 in Martin O'Neill's third first game in charge. More reaction to come after the news with Lisa McCormick.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. Iran's head of judiciary has warned that protesters that anyone who's armed or carries out an attack on public property will be considered an enemy of God, a charge which carries the death penalty. There have been anti-government demonstrations across the country over the past 2 weeks. 2 human rights groups are reporting that at least 50 people have been killed. An amber warning for snow has been issued for Scotland as Storm Goretti continues to impact parts of the UK. Water and power supplies for thousands of people are still being disrupted. Police in Minneapolis say 29 people were arrested during protests against immigration officials sparked by the fatal shooting of a woman on Wednesday. Tensions have been rising since the death of Rennie Good, who was killed by an immigration agent. And a comic book featuring the first ever depiction of Superman has just been sold for over £11 million. The Action Comics #1 book was sold privately at an auction.
It's time for more of this.
Are you serious?
The Traitors Uncloaked is the only place you'll see players react as they find out who's been deceiving them.
I knew it!
It's the only place for official behind-the-scenes deep dives into the latest plot twists.
That is brilliant.
And it's the only place where we chat to famous fans and players from series gone by.
I wouldn't want to be a traitor.
Oh, it's the best part. No, that's what a traitor would say.
The Traitors Uncloaked, the official visualised companion podcast with me, Ed Gamble. Watch on iPlayer, listen for more on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports.
The FA Cup with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Half-time, Spurs 0, Aston Villa 2, second half commentary to come. Then Charlton-Chelsea at 8 o'clock in full. Whatever happens, the top story is National League North, Macclesfield knocking out the holders Crystal Palace. They beat them by 2-1. Here's captain and scorer of the first, Paul Dawson.
Honestly, unbelievable. The lads, the staff, the bench, the lads who are not in the squad, the injured lads, the fans, everyone. Honestly, what a shift.
How much do you believe, honestly, coming into today? I mean, you'd have thought we'll give him a game, but how much did you believe you could win today?
Truthfully, honestly, I had a weird feeling we was going to win. Plastic pitch. I knew we was going to make it horrible for him, be aggressive, be right in the faces. Obviously, we knew we was going to have the ball, but the gaffer gave us a game plan and we stuck to it.
Now, in terms of your goal, I mean, that was absolute textbook. Free kick, on the head, 1-0, and right before half-time. It couldn't have been better timed, could it?
No, it couldn't, to be honest. It was a top ball from Duff's, put it on a plate, to be fair, and I just guided it in, to be honest. I can't really remember it.
You'll see these faces week in, week out. What does it mean to you to give this day to them to remember, really, for the rest of their lives?
Yeah, one of the biggest cup upsets in history, to be honest, isn't it? But yeah, we get 3,000 fans every week. It's not just today where they've come to the big occasion. We get these every week, so that was for the fans, for the community, that was for everyone.
Well done today, and enjoy tonight.
I will do.
Second time I've heard that. I'll have to get Paul Dawson with Gary Flintoff. Newcastle beat Bournemouth 7-6 on penalties. Aaron Ramsdale saved 3. Here he is with Ailey Barber.
Congratulations. What a game that turned into.
Yeah, it was a FA Cup classic in the end. Delighted to get through. I think there was a lot of tired bodies at the end there, and somehow it's gone to penalties, and I've managed to do my job, and the lads have put theirs away, and we've gone through. Yeah, it's buzzing.
There was the drama of Wednesday night, then everything that happened today. There is a determination amongst you lot to just never give up. Where does that come from?
The manager installs it, but I think St James's Park, massive part of us. You look at Wednesday night, scoring so late on, and then the lads have obviously gone for extra time and cracking on. We got a massive game Tuesday, so it probably wasn't the the greatest pre-match for that, doing 120 minutes and then penalties. But as we said, we had to play what was in front of us. Credit to Bournemouth, and then obviously it's a good cup day.
3 saves for him and 3 for Sunderland's Robin Roofs as they knocked out Everton on penalties. Manchester City put 10 past League One Exeter City at the Etihad. Antoine Semenyo scored on his debut. Rico Lewis got 2. Here he is.
It's an amazing game to be a part of, as a City player as well. It's our biggest victory, so something that, it's going to be in history for a long time, I think. All in all, it's a great game for the spirit of the team, and we'll take it into the rest of the season.
And the history books will always say you got a couple on the score sheet. Just talk us through them, because as I mentioned that, you're just grinning from ear to ear.
Yeah, obviously it's a nice feeling to score, and it's rare for me to score 2, get an assist. So, in today's game there's a lot of goals and assists that are talked about, and it becomes more important now than it was before. So it's nice to be getting a few of them, and hopefully I can continue to do that in the future.
When you look at the other younger players around you, and I'm looking particularly today at Max Allain, who scored, again, Ryan McAdoo, who scored as well, you look so strong coming through the academy with the youngsters.
Yeah, I think it's the philosophy of the academy. We've always tried to model the first team from when we're 12 years old, so that's why we've all got such a similar connection. I think it's credit to the club that they have this kind of structure that they want to bring up players to put in the first team, and as you see today, 4, 5, 6 players that have all come through the academy, and now they're playing in the first team, and they look comfortable.
Rico Lewis there with Lee Blakeman. The bottom side in the Premier League, Wolves beat Shrewsbury Town 6-1. Jurgen Strand-Larsen scored a hat-trick. He hadn't scored since October. BBC Sport understands Wolves are open to selling him this window. Here he is.
No, that feels good, but honestly I've been feeling really, really confident the past few months, especially after obviously missed a penalty and some tough weeks and months, but that's how it is for a striker. It goes up and down, but I've been believing in myself, and obviously today was a good chance to show it, and hopefully I can start doing it in the Premier League as well, because I know what's in me, but it's been missing a little bit this season, especially from me, but also us as a team, and now we're really starting to look a good team, and today we show again that we are a real threat.
There's been a lot of talk about your future, speculation you could leave the football club this month. What can you tell Wolves fans that are wondering?
No, there's nothing to say at the moment. I feel really happy here, obviously. I've been struggling this year to find my form, but it's, as I said, it's not... Obviously, a striker needs to score a lot of goals to play every game, but I think obviously we've been working on to try and find me in the moments, and today especially you see I get a little bit of space, and I can show everyone that I'm still scoring goals. So I think today was really good for me to show that again, but obviously I think what's most important is try to win games again for us and advance in the cup, because that's a massive cup for us to try and do some damage, definitely.
Jurgen Strand-Larsen speaking to Charlie Slater. Martin O'Neill's second interim stint at Celtic began with a 4-0 win over Dundee United. It moves them to within 3 points of the leaders' hearts. Here he is.
Oh, it was delightful. We played really well in the game, and we won eventually in the end, quite convincingly. But still have to score the first goal in the game. Yang takes it magnificently, and we get up and running. But the performance was really good.
I know you're probably going to deflect a lot of this onto the players, but can I ask you, what in your opinion are you bringing to the team? Because you've come back in, it looked like you restored calm, there's a clean sheet, there's 4 goals. Can you put your finger on it?
I have no idea, but I have to say it is, and it's not a deflection. The players have to do the playing, and and it's been a strange old week again. I've come back in again, I think perhaps to haunt them as much as anything else, but no, it's the players did brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly today. I think someone was just saying there that there's like 32 passes, I think, before we scored the first goal, and that was great, and just it's a boost of confidence as much as anything else.
That's Martin O'Neill. We'll be back for second half commentary of Spurs 0 Villa 2 shortly. Once we're done with that, Charlton of the Championship face Chelsea. A first game in charge for Liam Rosenior, your Ali Bruce Ball.
Yeah, just laid eyes on him about 5 minutes ago. Steve came out of the tunnel away to the left-hand side here at the Valley, which is going to be ram-jammed tonight. I think they're expecting their biggest attendance for an FA Cup game in over 50 years. Liam Rosenior came out with a gaggle of players in a dark grey matching grey scarf. Was out there for a couple of minutes or so. Stopped for a quick chat with some of the Charlton fans. It's going to be fascinating to see how he lines them up, how Chelsea go about it, and what sort of test Nathan Jones-Charlton can provide.
Pat Nevin alongside Ali for commentary. Evening, Pat.
Good evening.
I know it's a cliche to say X spoke well at his unveiling, but he really did, Liam Rosenior, didn't he?
Yeah, lovely to listen to. In the end, what will it mean if the results don't pick up, because they haven't been good recently? Will it help him in any way how well he speaks? What needs to get the team working? It's how he speaks in the dressing room, which is far more important than how he speaks in front of everyone else. So we look forward to seeing how that goes. But he is quite impressive, and certainly his record in Strasbourg was quite good. There's always excitement with a new manager, which is good for Chelsea fans, because they get to hear that and see that frequently, because they have new managers all the time. But this is a big one. I mean, this is a really interesting month, because although a lot of games this month, it's a lot of winnable games now, and certainly this is the start of it. And here's a weird one for you. I think this game is far more important for Chelsea than it is for Charlton, even though it's the Cup, and even though it's the third round, and even though it's at home, and it's a big game, you would think, for Charlton. However, Chelsea do not want to start off on the wrong foot in this game, and looking as if the difficult times have got even worse. So for the manager, for the players, and for the fans, it's actually massive. So whoever he picks for the team will be incredibly interesting. I suspect he'll go strong.
Thank you, guys. Full commentary at 8 o'clock once we're done at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We've had a goal. Grimsby Weston-super-Mare, Shojo Saka.
Thundering start to the second half. It's Grimsby 1, Weston-super-Mare of National League South 1. It was Luke Keelson with a free kick from 25 yards out, hit the wall, took a wicked deflection and just creeped over Jackson Smith's hands in the Grimsby goal. It's Grimsby 1, Weston-super-Mare 1.
Stand by for a massive half of football for Thomas Frank and Tottenham Hotspur, trailing Villa by 2-0, and we're back underway. Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Steve. As Thomas Frank stands on the edge of his technical area, his arms folded, he will know as well as anyone how huge this second half of football could be. He is under so much pressure at the moment. It's turning toxic once again in terms of the response from the Tottenham fans to him at half-time. There were boos as he went down the tunnel. No changes for either side at the break. Villa leading 2-0. It's Villa in possession, playing from right to left in their change strip, the dark shirts and shorts with the white socks. Tottenham in their commemorative 1901 FA Cup winning shirt, still lily white, and all lily white in terms of no names on the back, as it would have been 125 years ago when they lifted this cup for the first of the 8 times that they've won it in their history. Of course, they would love another trip to Wembley, but at the moment they are just desperate for a little bit of momentum. But it's Villa with the momentum in the early stages as they come down the right-hand side, leading by 2-0. Here's John McGinn. It's blocked away by Palinha. Need forward by Pau Torres. Powerful header away by Kevin Danso as Xavi Simons, the Villa players, say he handballed there. Referee Craig Paulson says no, he didn't. Instead, he was pulled back after that alleged handball, and it's a free kick to Tottenham. So, Tottenham line up like this. Vicario in goal. He's gone really strong, Thomas Frank. Even coming into this game, he made 5 changes, but most of those were enforced. Vicario in goal. The back four are Porro, Danso, Van de Ven and Davies. Ahead of them it's Palinha and Gray, with Audebert, Simons and Tell supporting. Koli Muani up top, who replaced the injured Richarlison. Tottenham's leading scorer this season, going off with what looked like a hamstring injury in the first half, and it's Tottenham in possession with Tell over on that left-hand side. He's dispossessed over on the far side, and Aston Villa will try and bring it forward through Matty Cash, but Villa have committed the foul, and it will be a free kick to Tottenham on the far side, just inside the Villa half. So Villa with Bizot in goal, in for the injured Emi Martinez, who doesn't make the squad for this game. Back four of Cash, Concert, Torres and Martson, Bogard and Tielemans having to come on in the first half with the injured Kamara, and then McGinn, Rodgers and Buendia supporting Marlon up top. Ollie Watkins, one of those benched for this game, but still a strong Villa lineup despite those 6 changes that they've made. Buendia and Rodgers, the players on the score sheet, as Tottenham play it forward, looking for the run of Pedro Porro, and the ball goes out of play for a goal kick to Aston Villa. Michael Brown.
Yeah, it's looking at Archie Gray, like it's almost like a quarterback, as he just sits in between the 2 centre-backs, trying to direct and hit some wonderful passes. It was Porro gone a long way, tried to sneak in behind that defensive line. They tried it early, didn't they? The diagonal passes against Villa, tried to catch him, and then it was the quality As those two sort of players from wider areas turn into like sort of two number 10s almost, in a little box, a little support unit in behind those two central midfielders of Spurs that cause all sorts of problems.
Family ties, of course, for Archie Gray, the 19-year-old. His dad Andy making over 200 appearances for Aston Villa. But it's Archie in the white of Tottenham who, with his teammates, is looking to get Tottenham back into this game and alleviate what could and feels like, maybe not today, but over a period of weeks, is building to what could be critical pressure on Thomas Frank. There's so many facets to that conversation and that debate. We might get into some of them depending on how this half goes. Over on the far side, Tottenham in possession. Matthias Tell, Javi Simons is dispossessed. And it's picked up by Davis, and now Odobert will spray it out to this right-hand side. Pedro Porro's delivery in, it's cleared away at the back by Konsa for Aston Villa, picked up by Archie Gray, but he's dispossessed. And here goes Morgan Rogers looking to release Doniel Marlon. Good goalkeeping by Vicario initially, but he plays it straight to Emi Buendia, who goes for goal from the best part of 46 yards, but can't get the purchase on it and spares Vicario's blushes. Well, initially his anticipation was great, but the clearance was poor, went straight to Buendia, who's already scored Villa's opener here, and he tried to play it into the empty net from pretty much the halfway line and couldn't get the distance or the purchase on it.
He could have just took a touch. I was wondering initially if Malum was offside. I was sort of waiting for the official to sort of put that flag up, and then maybe he was also the same, as he just slashed at it and let it go.
Here goes Odobert down the right-hand side. Looked like Marlon pulled him back there, but he evaded it. And the interception is made by Tielemans, but only as far as Palhinha. Odobert picks it up once more, and Ben Davis out to the left-hand side now. Tottenham 0, Aston Villa 2. In field now to Joao Palhinha, who has to shoot from the Tottenham fans who've seen him score 2 overhead kicks this season, including in their last match against Bournemouth. Poor ball there by Porro. Frustration again rumbles around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. When it comes to Thomas Frank's position as Aston Villa prepared to take this goal kick, there are a lot of things that people look at when we talk about managers under pressure. One is the relationship with the fans. Clearly that is very negative at the moment. But the players, whether they're still playing for a manager, the Tottenham players do seem to still be playing for him, Michael. Would you say that from this performance and performances of late where Frank feels they haven't got the points that their performances deserve?
Do you know, yeah, you'd certainly say the players like him. I don't think he suffers fools. He gets everything what he wants from them. But from there on, you look at the stats at the top of the page, obviously, just having a little look at like the through balls, shots, expected goals, touches in opposition box, 16th, 17th and 20th in the Premier League. So like if we want stats going forward, that's why the Spurs supporters are moaning. But defensively as well, when we've seen here, they've tried to come out and then they're not finding that solution. So from a solid ground that he's built for so many seasons for Brentford, that was the first and foremost, wasn't it? We're hard to beat, we can go on set pieces. Then he developed into a more possession based and progressed that way. And so he's an inexperienced manager, but unfortunately in this sport that we all love, it can't happen so quickly. And then once that pressure builds, we see a sort of a washing machine effect, and we just see manager after manager.
Here goes Kevin Tanso for Tottenham, receives it back from Odobert. Tottenham 0, Aston Villa 2. 7 minutes gone in this second half here on 5 Live. Commentary of Charlton against Chelsea. Liam Rossini's first game in charge will round off what has been a hugely enjoyable FA Cup third round afternoon. We will bring that to you on 5 Live as Tottenham have it just inside the Villa penalty area. Here's Porro, shot is blocked by Martson. Just then gets in a bit of a muddle trying to clear it, and the shot driven in by Javi Simons is beaten away by Marco Bizot. Well, he's rarely been called into action, the Villa goalkeeper, in for the injured Emi Martinez. But that wasn't a bad try from Javi Simons as Tottenham take the corner quickly. Here's Pedro Porro, has it right hand side of the area, lays it off to Mathys Tel. Tel's delivery in is a difficult one to deal with for Villa, and on the angle, Ben Davis fires over on the edge of the 6-yard box.
You know what, Maatsen does well. Initially when you see Porro drive forward, he's thinking, can I use the body, play it through for that strike, and then the next one-on-one stays big and just makes him work it. And then as it drops down on that far post, Ben Davis coming in, try and get a shot but couldn't get over the top of it. So you've had that shot from distance, Xavi Simons is trying to test the goalkeeper. He was on that side, it was too comfortable, the right height with not enough power. Thought he could have reversed it into the far corner, but the fans cheered, they had a little something to go at.
Come on you Spurs rings around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They are getting behind their team, these Tottenham fans. They're putting aside for now their frustrations with Thomas Frank, their frustrations with the way that this season is panning out again. And here goes Kolo Muani for Tottenham, lays it off to Onabere, that's a good ball, Onabere gets a goal back, and Tottenham have hope, and Thomas Frank does too. Applauds on the edge of his technical area. Lovely goal by Tottenham. Sweet strike from just inside the area. A cross goal from Wilson Onabere. Tottenham 1, Villa 2.
Yeah, the space was there, but he was narrow, wasn't he? Onabere coming inside, running into space, hurting you rather than away from it. But it's a good position Muani gets into. Really, they should do better. I think it's Bulgari at the edge of the sort of middle of the pitch, and then as he passes it to the right, great strike right across the goalkeeper, fabulous finish to come again.
And Tottenham have won it back straight away from kick-off. Villa a little bit sloppy. Here come Tottenham once more. Shot driven in by Simons, and it's beaten away by Bizot and cleared away by Maatsen. But listen to the change in atmosphere inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They've taken the throw quickly on this near side. They are still fighting for Thomas Frank, these players. There's no doubt about that. And they're still fighting in the FA Cup. 35 minutes to go. There is time for Tottenham to turn this around. Their best spell of the game by far. Infield by Porro. Picked up by the goalscorer Onabere. Dinks it across. Oh, it's missed by Simons. Comes all the way through to Tell. Gets the shot away. Just dallied a little bit, and it's blocked by a combination of Begin and Cash. Cash will block the follow-up as well. But Tell will drive it in. Looking for Archie Gray, who's in there. Conta slides in. And it's claimed eventually by Marco Bizot, who tried to set Daniel Marlin away. Headed away by Kevin Danso, and suddenly Michael Brown, we've got a game on our hands.
It's back and forward, great intensity. Look at the difference here from Spurs.
Here goes Onabere down the right hand side, the delivery in. Well, that is just so symptomatic of the change in atmosphere here. Essentially, it's a miss-hit cross, it's gathered at his near post by Bizot, but if that's in the first half, I think that's jeered by the fans. Because he's just scored, it's a case of, oh, well done, you nearly caught him out.
Yeah, but they did, because it's on a run of sort of a possession of momentum. Villa just looking here now, calm. Really some good passing, there's a great running behind, and say, do you know what, I'm going to wait, we're going to keep the ball. But it was really good from Spurs. Xavi Simons coming as well. He just missed one, a fabulous ball across. It would have been sensational. The atmosphere, if that had gone in, he just managed to get into the box to try and get the ball that was fizzed across the face. Then they kept it alive, and as you say, that cross front post. But Villa now getting possession, very cool, understand they've got to get some passes.
It's late from Archie Gray on Emi Buendia. He's given away the free kick, and he's going to pick up a yellow card as well, the 19-year-old. But these are the fine margins in football. This is what Thomas Frank needs, those little momentum shifts, because they're showing right now, the Tottenham fans inside this stadium, they are willing to stay with the team during the 90 minutes. You know, that's one of the things that he's talked about. Like, everybody's going to have opinions at the end of games, but, you know, actually all coming together during a match and getting behind the team, and they're doing that at the moment, these Tottenham fans.
Yeah, just looking at a lovely strike right across the goalkeeper into the far corner just as he enters the penalty area. Really nice, and then the tempo increases. Just seeing that tackle there in the middle, so from Archie Gray, but even John McGinn said, do you know what, I don't want you to give a foul there, you can go back to it. We're in a good position there for the referee.
Here come Aston Villa, who've been second best so far in this second half, but they still lead here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds by 2-1. And they play the ball all the way back into their own half, as it's picked up now by John McGinn, but can't control it. Forward by Archie Gray, lovely left by Xavi Simons, and here goes Onabere, bearing down on goal. He's going to go for it again, and that time he was too far out, couldn't get the angle on it, and it's a straightforward save for Marco Bizot.
Yeah, it's interesting, wasn't it, that he took it on. He was looking for those runners as it all broke for him. Colin Mariani just pulls off to the left-hand side. At least someone just getting around closer. He could have just went a little bit longer to see if there was a slide pass committed, but pulls onto that left foot strike. Goalkeeper sort of lays down and waits for it. Never really want to troubled him, but the intensity, having shots, being assertive is the difference. And it's just swung, hasn't it? The atmosphere is changing, the tempo. But what I really do like is Villa have gone, OK, no worries. If this happens, it does, but we're going to continue just to be cool on the ball.
Unai Emery out on the edge of his technical areas. That ball forward from Maatsen, looking for the run of Donyell Marlin. Vicario, all in bright orange, comes and claims right on the edge of his penalty area. Stays just inside and gets Tottenham moving once again. Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2, on a day that even by magic of the FA Cup third round standards has been pretty magical, not least for Macclesfield as Porro plays the ball in looking for Kolo Muani. Aston Villa make first contact, is then punched away by Bizot, knee down on the edge of his own area by Emi Buendia. And Tielemans then will clear up towards Donyell Marlin, loses out to Kevin Danso, who picks it up on the halfway line, and Van de Ven has it once more for Tottenham. As the fans inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium will their
Porro
team
now.
forward.
Look at Porro, he's going all the way, he's fizzing it across. Goalkeeper had to come and challenge, even he was slightly nervous there, he punched it away. Here he is, the outlet.
Yeah, he's pushing really high up this right-hand side, Pedro Porro. He's just been found by Xavi Simons, so he's done really well. Just about gets past Buendia, who then does recover. Porro then goes down, ball given away by him. Donyell Marlin is dispossessed by Joao Palhinha, and the ball goes out of play. For a throw to Tottenham. He was staring at one win in their last 7, but they've got themselves back into this game, although the play just breaks down there. And again, this is how wafer thin the balance of how the Tottenham fans are going to go in terms of what they're expressing here. It's just starting to turn into a little bit of frustration with a few wayward passes, but they like that challenge. The frustration now is for referee Craig Pawson, because Matthias Teller's been penalised, and Aston Villa have a free kick just inside their own half. Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2, an hour gone in this FA Cup third round tie on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
John McGinn just gets his body across, doesn't he? Waits for contact, realises in a tight position. Down he goes. He's been very reliable. Been so interesting, isn't it, that Unai Emery, when he first came into the football club, wondering, do I play John McGinn? And his shape's different. He's not necessarily an athlete, but in that dressing room, wonderful, great character, drives the team. He's got different ways of playing. Tight areas, skillful, can get a goal, and he can buy things at the right time. There he is again.
Yeah, he's sprung Villa away down this right-hand side. It's in field now from Rodgers to McGinn once more, and now Emi Buendia lays it off to Donyell Marlin. Buendia tumbles in the area, but then gets back up. Donyell Marlin's effort is deflected into the arms of Vicario. Tottenham 1, Villa 2.
That's a good cup tie now. It's not disappointed. We asked for a little bit of drama, a little bit of something. Oh, it's going to be heading that way. This isn't just going to stay. The two teams waiting to see what happens. They're going to try and force. Referee is not doing the best here. What's he thinking? It's a cup tie. This is what we want. FA Cup. The players are asking him to play. The one in the middle of the park there, Buendia gets caught. Even John McGinn's saying, yeah, I'm not bothered, let's play, I want to go forward. Leave him there, we'll get up, make sure he's okay, but keep the ball going.
Yeah, he's letting play go now, Craig Pawson. He gave Tottenham a free kick when they wanted just to break forward. They are breaking forward now down this left-hand side, but then Matisse Tell just slows the play down and goes backwards to Ben Davis. A few Tottenham fans don't really like that. Ball in from that left-hand side is then intercepted by Matty Cash and goes out of play for a Tottenham throw on the far side. Changes afoot for Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins and Jadon Sancho are preparing to come on, because Unai Emery knows that control of this game and momentum in this match is just slipping away from them a little bit. They still lead by 2-1, but Tottenham have belief. Tottenham have hope. Tottenham are fighting here, these players for Thomas Frank. They have a throw over on the far side. It will be launched in by Kevin Danso. And it's flicked on, cleared away by Konsa, and Van de Ven will let that spin out for the Tottenham corner as they push for this equaliser in the second half. Michael Brown.
You know, Mickey Van de Ven's gone all the way to that front post, and he's just tried to flick it on. He realises it wasn't going to be. But he's that setup we're talking about. So Spurs are taking the corner, and Villa go, do you know what, normally it's everybody back, and they've got 3 have gone, right, see you later. 3 for 3. Nobody anywhere around the edge of the area. When do you ever see that? Everyone in the 6-yard box. It's a weird setup.
It is. There's a huge swathe of grass between the halfway line with those 3 Villa and 3 Spurs players, and then, as Michael says, everybody else in the 6-yard box. Tell swings it in. Villa have a player tumbling, and Kevin Danso can't control it and heads it behind. Let's head to Bristol City against Watford. A goal for Molly Stevens.
Where Bristol City have a 3-goal lead on Watford. It's Rob Atkinson with a header, sails into the back of the net, came from a free kick. The defender launched his body to the ball, and Bristol City have a comfortable lead here. It's 66 minutes played, and it's Bristol City 3, Watford 0.
And commentary continues over on Sports Extra. So here come those double Villa changes. You've just been praising him, Michael Brown. But John McGinn is off and Jadon Sancho is coming on, and Doniel Marlin replaced by Ollie Watkins. So our final commentary on this FA Cup third round day on 5 Live is Charlton against Chelsea. Liam Rosenior's first game in charge, and Ali Bruce Ball has the team news.
Yes, first Chelsea team sheet under Liam Rosenior, very much a cup lineup. 8 changes from the defeat at Fulham, so toss in Andre Santos, Moses Caicedo, the only 3 who remain from that game. In come Jorgensen, Achimpong, Badiashile, Harto, Gittins, Buonanotte, Garnacho and Guiu. Palmer and James not involved at all tonight. And as for Charlton, 4 changes for them, just 1 win in 11 games, an enforced one in goal. Regular keeper Thomas Kaminski is missing. Will Mannion starts, and 19-year-old Keenan Goff at the back makes only his 2nd start for the club.
Thanks very much, Ali. Commentary coming up on 5 Live from 8 o'clock after the conclusion of this game, as Javi Simons brings it down the left-hand side for Tottenham, up against Bogard, who stands up well, and Rodgers coming across to help out, but Simons has done brilliantly, gets past both of them. Tell, edge of the area, just inside the box, one way and then the other is blocked by Buendia. Ben Davies then tries to get the ball across, blocked away by Konsa. Davies can't keep hold of it, and Aston Villa will clear up towards halfway. Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2, approaching the midway point of this second half as the ball is won back. Might have been a foul in there. Advantage played this time. He's clearly heard you. Michael Brown, referee Craig Pawson. Tottenham still have it midway through the Aston Villa half. No, they don't have it. They've conceded a foul. Aston Villa have the free kick, and all the ire of the Tottenham fans at the moment is directed at the man in the middle.
Right, finally we get an advantage. I don't want to go too strong here. I've got to be careful because I'll end up with a yellow card as usual. But do you know what? Let us go. Come on, little fouls, little bits of something. He's just blown up for a foul, which it was not even close for me. Great win back, Ciapolino. Then there's one on him. I say, let's go. I don't understand why they do it. He wants to get involved too much. Let these players sort it out. They'll just carry on. It's been a really interesting start to this second half, and cup tie overall. It's in the balance here.
I'm looking to my left at producer Rob. No, you're all right, Michael. He's kept his cards in his pocket.
Yeah,
perfectly acceptable.
I sort of stayed back a little bit, didn't I? I stayed back.
So Aston Villa in possession, leading by 2-1. A goal at Grimsby. Shojo Saka.
Grimsby 2, Weston-super-Mare 1. Grimsby have brought their top scorer off the bench, and he's delivered. Chase Kebier with a lovely finish, 11th of the season for him. Grimsby deserve the lead. Grimsby 2, Weston-super-Mare 1.
And a goal, Bristol City against Watford, Molly Stevens.
Whereas Bristol City 4, Watford 0. Emil Rees gets his 2nd of the evening, his 9th of the season. The Watford defence has been a mess throughout, and again they capitulate. Bristol City surely through to the 4th round, 4-0.
So commentary of that game over on Sports Extra. Grimsby against Weston-super-Mare is on Sports Extra 3, and if you'd like to listen to Cambridge against Birmingham, that is on Sports Extra 2. Just go to the BBC Sounds app, scroll through and find the game that you want to listen to. As Bear into the area, can't get the shot away, neither can Colin Mawani initially, and Matty Cash will clear, and it goes out of play for a Tottenham throw. Just to say as well, while we were away getting those goal updates, Emi Buendia has gone into the book for Aston Villa for pulling back Archie Gray, but it's Tottenham who are still pushing, looking to get back on level terms as the ball goes out of play on the far side for an Aston Villa throw deep in Villa territory. Michael Brown.
Odegaard come right across the pitch. It was a fizzing ball, edge of the sort of penalty area, sort of 25 yards out, and it sort of takes the touch, but the momentum goes with him, and it almost gets him in towards goal, thinking, go on, shoot. And then as he gets into the area, he tries to take another one, and for all the things he's done really well, a couple of the passes, a couple of things at the end just haven't been as expected. But here you go now, that's a foul, surely.
Yep, Michael Brown's spot on, as he so often is. And Aston Villa have a free kick over on that far side. It's all just boiling over a little bit of pushing and shoving. Referee Craig Pawson is just keeping his distance. Free kick to Aston Villa it will be. Third of the way inside the Tottenham half on the right-hand side.
The same Paulinho's jumped in like over the top, like a nasty one, but there's nowhere near anything like that. There's a tiny bit of contact, hip height. You see, can't you, as Morgan Rogers is on that byline, he's coming across him, we saw the contact in and around his hip area, but he doesn't go to grab. The action, I understand why Ollie Watkins is thinking that he's done that, but he hasn't. Referee right on top, and now an opportunity to put it right into the penalty box. Spurs back line stayed right on the edge of the area, waiting in a long line with one wide there, trying to stop any 2v1.
And again, a reminder, we don't have VAR in the FA Cup third round, so referee's decision is final. What a refreshing change. Or maybe not, if you feel that VAR sometimes goes your way. As Villa swing the ball in, it was a dangerous delivery, and Emi Buendia got on the end of it, but can't send it towards goal. Pau Torres was up there as well, and it's behind for a Tottenham goal kick. So Charlton against Chelsea will finish off our FA Cup coverage this evening on 5 Live, on a day where we have seen the biggest shock in FA Cup history. Macclesfield of the 6th tier beating the holders Crystal Palace by 2-1. Manchester City beating Exeter 10-1, another standout result. Newcastle prevailing after an epic penalty shootout. 3-3 draw with Bournemouth at St James's Park. Sunderland beating Everton on penalties after a 1-1 draw. Also through to the fourth round, Wolves, Burnley, Fulham, Brentford, Leicester, Burton Albion, Southampton, Ipswich and Stoke. You can watch all the highlights on Match of the Day this evening, BBC One, 10:40. And if you are a fan of the magic of the Cup, I would highly recommend going onto BBC Sounds and listening at least to the last 15 minutes or so of Macclesfield against Palace. Here comes Tottenham into the area, blocked away by Pau Torres. Really dangerous opportunity there for João Palhinha, who scored that wonderful overhead kick last match in the defeat by Bournemouth. But Villa making their own problems, intercepted by Odobert. Palhinha going for the curler, blocked away by Pau Torres for the Tottenham corner. They have certainly shown a response in this second half.
It was on, wasn't it? He tried to strike far post and then you go short. Was it in fast?
And Tell goes short to Simons from the corner now. Tell will swing it in. Bizot's there, another punch, doesn't quite get it out of the area. Picked up on this near side by João Palhinha. Goes down to the corner flag, he's trying to win another set piece. Really well defended by Matson, but then he's lost it to Porro. Palhinha picks it up, down to the byline, whips the ball across. It's headed up and away by Pau Torres, helped on by Tielemans. Buendia then goes down under pressure from down zone, and you can see that coming all day long. Free kick Villa midway through their own half. They still lead by 2-1, 19 minutes plus added time to play.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else he can do. Look how he engineers the foul. If you watch that back leg, he goes into the splits and then he falls. His Danso gets close to him, make sure he gets it. There is a little bit. Is that good play? Is it not? We'll have disagreements. We can go on with that sort of thing, can't we, all day? Spurs have to keep driving. Villa, so they're looking to try and get momentum back with them. Show some really good touches. I think at times Matson's being composed and okay in the defensive unit. But you just feel there's got to be another goal in the game.
Famous last words, Michael Brown, but Villa might prove you right. Matty Cash into the area, and the shot cleared off the line from Emi Buendia. Brilliant goal line clearance, saves Tottenham. Buendia didn't quite catch it cleanly, but got enough to get it past Vicario. But it was Pedro Porro back on the goal line who cleared it away, and Michael Brown, you almost a lucky charm
I
there.
meant to say within the next 5 seconds there's going to be a goal, as it's cleared off the line, but anyway, I wasn't right.
Doesn't count unless you said it on air. There's Villa drive with Rodgers from 20 yards, and it's straight into the arms of Vicario. Another goal at Grimsby. Shojo Saka.
This tie is alive. Grimsby 2, Weston 2, free kick, clipped in short, headed in towards the penalty spot, and there was Weston's top scorer, Lewis Britton, to tap home. Number 17 of the season for him. Grimsby 2, 6th tier, Weston Supermare 2.
And the flag is up here against Randall Kolomuani, and that Tottenham attack breaks down. Another goal at Bristol City against Watford. Molly Stevens.
And Watford have won back. Jack Greaves, the substitute, slots it past the keeper. As I say that, Emil Rees has just bagged a fifth for Bristol City. So down one end we had Jack Greaves, the substitute, slotting past the keeper for Watford's first of the match, but it's all over now surely. Emil Rees with the hat-trick tonight. It's Bristol City 5, Watford 1.
So that game over on Sports Extra. Grimsby against Weston-super-Mare. What a thriller over on Sports Extra 3, and Cambridge against Birmingham is on Sports Extra 2. Michael Brown.
Yeah, it's going back to that chance there. Buendia driving into the penalty area. They keep coming here, and it was just a little sort of hit into the ground, and it sort of almost went in. Porro cleared it off the line. We didn't get a chance to say it. It was a big chance. It was almost there. Would that have been the winner? Certain. They look all of a sudden, Villa come again, don't they? They're looking good now.
Yeah, they're looking for the goal to kill off this game. They lead by 2-1 as Rodgers is just possessed, just on the edge of the penalty area. He's just sparked into life, Rodgers, hasn't he, since Watkins has come on?
Yeah, you know, anywhere around it, you've got to watch. He's going to stretch it. That's what he's going to do. It's a good race, isn't it? Van der Ven and Watkins. Rodgers just drifting in and out, waiting for the chance.
And here goes Jadon Sancho, cutting in field, laid off eventually to Martson. And they're trying to win it back, Rodgers. He's done that for Villa. Tielemans now, Buendia, dispossessed. Kolomuani though loses out, and here's Tielemans once more. Back in field now to Kevin Danso, out to the right hand side and picked up by Matty Cash. Tottenham 1, Villa 2, 15 minutes plus added time to play. Here goes Morgan Rodgers. Nice little 1-2 with Martson, and now Sancho. Rodgers once again. This is lovely play by Villa. What a chance that was. It was off the bar in the end, I think. Goodness me, Aston Villa so close to getting a third goal in this game. Lovely break forward. No, in fact, it didn't hit the woodwork. It's another sliding challenge, and again Tottenham managed to clear the ball away from just in front of their own goal as Emi Buendia lets fly, and that's over the bar. Goal at Cambridge. John Hunt.
Game, set and match now to Birmingham. They lead 3-0. Marvin Dirks has just scored, added to their tally. Shame on Cambridge, really, because they were well in this game in terms of possession in the second half. Birmingham hardly had an attack so far in this second half, but they are now, importantly, home and hosed. They lead 3-0.
And here come Aston Villa, who've been stung into action with those substitutes. Here's Tielemans, just outside the penalty area. He's got the option to go right and left, but cleared away into Kevin Danso. And now Tottenham could have been sprung, but Marco Bizot comes out midway through his own half and collects that for Aston Villa.
Great position.
Now they will build again.
Really good position from the goalkeeper. The counter-attack was on. But you know what? Sancho's been really good. He's almost got Rodgers. The combinations between them two. Tielemans pulling strings. That holding area. There he is. He's clever. In Sancho. Rodgers has just drifted. Little areas. Matson joining in also. It's been a little bright spell for Villa. Can Tottenham cope? They tried to counter there, but goalkeeper stopped it.
And here they come once more. It's Jadon Sancho deep in the Tottenham half. Matson trying to get past Porro, but can't do so. Did a really good last 5 minutes or so, Porro. Some vital defensive play, but he's not played Xavi Simons into a great position there. And Tottenham on a free kick, they're not going to get it. And here come Aston Villa. It's Cash, pulls the ball across, and it's blocked by Davis, back off Cash, and goes out for a Tottenham goal kick.
Yeah, the referee under pressure to give a foul. He doesn't. Get this, play it. They're asking to play, but substitutions all around. We're going to get a few here down below us, but then when the referee plays advantage, I think he's wondering, is it a foul, is it not, as Cash tries to fizz the ball through that middle area of the penalty spot. More changes to come for Villa.
So the first change is going to be made by Tottenham 21-year-old Dane Scarlett. He's made a smattering of Tottenham appearances. The academy products. He's going to come on for Matisse Tell. And the double change for Villa is going to see Luca Digne and Andres Garcia come on. But before that, there's been another goal at Cambridge. John Hunt.
Yes, and Cambridge have one back here. Maybe I've written them off too soon. There's still 12 minutes to go. It's Cambridge 1, Birmingham 3. The Cambridge goal scorer, Suli Kaikai.
Thanks very much, John. So, that double change for Villa. Digne is on, Matson is off, and Matty Cash is replaced by Andres Garcia. So, Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2. There's Thomas Frank deep in discussions with his backroom staff. We said at the start of this second half, Michael Brown, that this was a huge half for Thomas Frank. I'm loath to get into this just yet because we don't know what way this game is going to go. But
it's been a decent one. Yeah. That's the fact. No, you're playing against a really top side who, once they get a lead like this, you know, they can really see you off. So take the credit. They have done it. Have they done enough? No. But have we seen something? Look, they keep going.
Here they come. It's Xavi Simons. He's going to be offside. He has gone round Bizot and slid it in, but the flag was up, and Pedro Porro has raced straight to the assistant. He did look offside from our position. Again, it's worth saying we don't have VAR, so they're just calling it as they see it, and he is well offside. There's daylight.
Yeah, he's about a metre offside, so you tell yourself. But it's a good finish, but irrelevant. Pedro Porro, oh look, he's the referee because he's well done, because he's had a go at the assistant referee asking him about the flag, saying, I don't think you're right, you might be, you might not be. Are we not allowed to ask the question? Is it because his hand's up going, come on ref, come on.
Do you think it's because he sprinted about 30 yards?
But he's got to say, are you sure? Do you know, it's a passionate game. Like, if he swore at him, that's fine, but if he's gone, are you sure? Come on, put the pressure on them. That's allowed. Do you know, come on, he's come a long way now, delayed the game and goes to give a yellow card. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? But a little bit of something.
Well, it is a feisty tie. It's FA Cup third round. It's Tottenham against Villa, with both sides putting out strong teams, and that shows how much they both want to progress. Thomas Frank and Unai Emery taking the FA Cup seriously. Frank, you'd think possibly there's some momentum behind that as much as anything, that he's just desperate to get a victory, to change the tide. Unai Emery saying quite clearly again before this game, when I arrived here my objective was to reach Europe and win a trophy, and that is still my objective. He's taking this competition seriously, as Aston Villa have a free kick midway through their own half. They lead by 2-1, and they are pushing to wrap this tie up. Largely it's been Tottenham's second half, but over the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, Aston Villa have had the better of the game. Tottenham win possession over on the far side. Here's Xavi Simons on lovely turn on halfway. Is he going to run into trouble? No, he's done really well there to keep possession. Then he goes down, he grabs the ball. Which way is this going to go? It is going to be a free kick for Tottenham, and a yellow card into the bargain as well. And that has been brandished in the direction it looks like.
Do you think there is any contact? Who touches him?
Yeah,
who
that's
touches
it,
him?
isn't it? Well, I wondered when he grabbed the ball,
me.
if
He's going that fast. He's trying to get out of a situation. He does amazing. Now, if there's a tiny bit of something, does that mean it's a yellow card? Has he deliberately pulled him down? I mean, again.
Yeah, he took a risk there grabbing the ball, because I agree. I don't actually think there was a foul in there. It's just because he got past about 6 players.
It's like on the sports day where all the parents run and the fastest one always falls over.
Ball into the area. Kevin Danso can only flick it behind. Andres Garcia was the player, incidentally, that was penalised. And he has gone into the book. Another goal at Grimsby. Shojo Saka.
Grimsby 3, Weston-super-Mare 2, corner from the right, and a header glanced in by captain Kieran Green. He's a substitute as well. What a seesaw cup tie. Grimsby 3, Weston 2 with 4 minutes to go.
So perhaps not to be for more 6th-tier heroics. Weston-super-Mare, Macclesfield have done it already today. The biggest upset in FA Cup history. 117 places between them and Crystal Palace, but they knocked out the holders. Highlights of that game and all the rest of the day's FA Cup action on BBC One tonight. 10:40 match of the day. So Tottenham have a free kick inside the centre circle. They're about to make a double change. Jed Spence is coming on for Pedro Porro, and Dominic Solanke, a surprise inclusion on the bench, his first time in the squad since August after injury, is going to make his comeback after that lengthy ankle issue. Wilson Odobert off, and just a word on Odobert today, Michael Brown, because he has stood out for Tottenham.
There's a reaction there from Spurs fans, and rightly so. What a bird, yes, he's done well in flashes, then we didn't see him. Obviously a good strike for the goal, but that end product just needs to improve, we know. But now, his last moments, it's a nice time, isn't it, for Slanky to come on.
How they need him. How they need a goal, Tottenham. Simons with the ball in, and it's straight into the arms of Bizot. But particularly as well, if you're just joining us on 5 Live, a reminder that Richarlison went off injured in the first half, so more injury woes for Thomas Frank to contend with. Huge in that context, as much as anything else, to have Dominic Solanke back on the pitch for the first time since August, as Tottenham have it over on the far side. Here's Paulinho, field to Xavi Simons, just ran into Tielemans, but then wins it back from Morgan Rogers. Simons, ball into the area, looking for Dane Scarlett, who does win the header towards Solanke, brings it down, edge of the 6-yard box. He's surrounded by dark shirts, can't get the shot away. Buendia then passes it back to Marco Bizot inside the 6-yard box. Very calmly done by Emi Buendia, and Bizot does clear up towards halfway. And now Villa come down the left-hand side with Morgan Rogers. 6 minutes plus added time to play. Tottenham 1, Villa 2. Rogers is down, belatedly the whistle goes.
He's in trouble,
and Tottenham are furious, absolutely furious, and I think they've got to be a bit careful here, given that we've already seen Craig Pawson booking Porro for dissent. Jed Spence very angry that that whistle went. Rogers is still down, so it's a free kick to Aston Villa just inside the Tottenham half. The Villa medical team are being gestured to come on by Craig Pawson. They haven't actually come on yet. Rogers still down, Tottenham free kick, Tottenham 1, Villa 2, Michael Brown.
It was a massive challenge, right? Really, really strong. As Rogers turns in, Paulinho comes from nowhere, and it's strong. He's trying to set the toe, he's trying to get them back forward, and then he jumps up. He says it's a joke to the officials. How can you give a foul? We're trying to get another look at it. Strong challenge, and maybe he thinks because there's 2 legs coming his way on the blind side. Let's have a look. It's 1 leg. It's a strong challenge. The second one of the back of his foot might just go into the player, but that's and you look at Emery, he's saying scissors, but he gets a look and it isn't a scissors one. It isn't like that. Tielemans comes in as well, getting involved.
Yeah, so Paulinho's gone into the book for the challenge. We just saw a replay there of a little coming together, the head of Tielemans. It's not a headbutt at all, but it coming together with the head of Paulinho. And it's just those sort of things, you've just got to be a bit careful in those sort of scenarios. Don't give the referee an excuse to take a dim view of that, but in the end, it's just the yellow card. If you'd have seen Pedro
Porro on the bench, he was going crazy at the officials. Already received a yellow card as well.
Yep, could have got a second yellow and been sent off from the bench, as Danso chests it down on the halfway line. But again, in the wider context, it is evidence that Tottenham are still fighting, as cheers and frustration and cheers from the Aston Villa fans as Danso plays it straight out of play. 4 minutes plus added time to play. Let's talk about the noise then around Thomas Frank. With this game still in the balance, this is an Aston Villa side that have been on a brilliant run recently. Yes, they've only won 1 of their last 3, but the 11-game winning run before that, and they're coming forward once more. They've made a strong side today. Here they are inside the penalty area. A little bit of chance for Garcia to try and win a corner, can't do so. How damaging would this defeat be within the context of everything that's happened before the game, and then also the second half performance? How damaging is this defeat for Thomas Frank and his position here at Spurs?
If you look for me, it's ultimately going to be the supporters who decide. They have a voice, they decide the fate, they decide what they want to do. Enough pressure, and the board start to consider situations and look at different options. But we've seen a fight here. The side that we're down, we've seen a reaction to cup tie. There's a couple of changes, they've got injuries, and it happens. But like you say, as a collective over a run of a period of time is what's caused this problem. That's why you ask the question.
Well, that's it, and that period goes, of course, far back than Thomas Frank, and that is the question, isn't it? Is the frustration that the Tottenham fans have towards him in particular, and becoming symptomatic of this season, enough to be decisive for the hierarchy, or do they take the longer view and also remember that last season they had their worst ever Premier League finish?
Change managers, who's next? It's maybe a player or two can help the situation.
And we have to say again, it is so apparent that these players are still playing for him. As Tielemans goes down, Villa's still playing, the whistle's gone. Now, what on earth
look
has
at
Craig
the
Pawson
referee,
done there?
look at him today. Let's have a look at that there. an advantage into an area where there's a goal scoring opportunity, he blows too early. When is he going to learn? Just have a look at the situation and wait. There's going to be tackles, there's going to be things going on. It is late. Let's have a little look, then there's a reverse pass and away it goes in the ring.
Really poor officiating, we've got to say. Dane Scarlett it is who comes in, he catches Tielemans, as Michael says, but Villa eventually work the ball to Watkins inside the area as the whistle goes, and now they've got a free kick just outside the centre.
If you watch, the
circle.
Villa players don't want it to stop because it's already happened before. So we're saying about, so maybe that one's not as bad, but because of the others, then you're already ready to go at him.
No, I think they will be hugely frustrated with that. Aston Villa as the ball over the top. Only reaches Ben Davis and is clear back to Vicario. 90 seconds of normal time to play. Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2 as Jed Spence gives the ball away. And Aston Villa come forward once more. Watkins won't reach it. Sliding challenge by Paulinho. Looked like he got the ball there and Craig Paulson agrees. And it's over on the left-hand side with Javi Simons, and he then tumbles. What's Craig Paulson going to do here? He's furious. He wants a free kick. It's gone out of play for an Aston Villa throw. Let's head back to Cambridge. Another goal, John Hunt.
Yeah, for Cambridge, 2-3 they trail. Sully Kaikai once again. We're into the third of 5 minutes added time here. Cambridge making a right good fist of this. Cambridge 2, Birmingham hanging on 3.
So more drama in the FA Cup third round here on 5 Live. That commentary continues over on Sports Extra 2 as it's picked up by Jed Spence, given away. Had a difficult time since coming off the bench, Spence. And what has Craig Pawson seen here? Whistle's gone. It's a free kick to Tottenham.
So he's come on, hasn't he, with long trousers on, Jed Spence. And when he gives the ball away, people are saying, oh, is he ready to come on? Is he just trying to stay warm? But I've just seen moments there. Paulinho caught Watkins. He stays down thinking there might be a red. And on the opposite end, don't we? We see Javi Simons stay down because Garcia's had a yellow also, trying to put pressure on.
Here goes Emi Buendia, he's lost in. Here comes Tottenham, it's Kolomoani infield looking for the run of Dominic Solanke. It's taken away from him by Pau Torres, who then goes down. And the Tottenham fans are furious with that. Aston Villa win a free kick. Buendia's also down off the ball halfway through the Villa half. 4 minutes of added time we've gone into. We've got to have more than that. Free kick Villa is the decision, and they still lead Tottenham by 2-1. Michael Brown.
Yeah, we wanted more, didn't we? It's got a little bit of spice, a little bit of tension. Villa players are trying to delay it. Torres goes down. There is a tiny bit of contact on his toe from Solanke. He's saying he's not caught him. Generally, as a player, you know if you have or not. You can feel it on your boot. Now we've also got Buendia down. He's holding on to his back. He's been caught, referee. It's a long time to start again. Get the ball playing. But it's had a bit of something, this game. The drama because of the manager, the quality play that we've seen from Villa, the reaction from Spurs in the second half, the presence of Solanke, losing Richarlison. It's up and down all the time, isn't it, for Spurs emotions?
So the boos are because Bizot is taking his time over this free kick. Buendia doesn't look that happy. He's holding the small of his back, but they have made all 5 changes, Aston Villa, so he's going to have to play on for now if he can, or they'll have to finish this game with 10 men. And of course, if Tottenham equalise, we're heading to extra time, in which case they would be allowed to make another change. But Buendia at the moment is continuing as Lucadinha takes the throw for Aston Villa. It's headed away by Jed Spence to Mickey van der Ven and all the way back to Vicario. Got 2.5 minutes at the minimum, 4 added on, but because we had a little stoppage for injury there, I think we'll have a little bit more as Villa have it on the right hand side. A little bit of space now for Rodgers. Now Ollie Watkins inside the area trying to pull it across. Vital interception by Joao Paulinho. Corner to Villa in front of their away fans who rise as one and applaud their side. Villa still lead 2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Paulinho fighting for the cause, and you can see the hurting. He's not always the one with the glamorous or the quality passes or creating something, but the desire there. We've seen that big challenge and the block at the front. Villa just saying we'll take our time, we're stretching it out like we did just before. And that free kick on the edge of their area spurs everybody back. I feel like it's one of those moments like Villa get forward.
Ball is swung into the penalty area. Buendia can't get his head on it. Morgan Rodgers brings it down into the area. Watkins then with the low drive, and it's gathered by Vicario. And we've got 90 seconds of the minimum 4 added minutes to play. And Vicario is taking his time deciding what he's doing with this ball. Eventually he launches it over the halfway line. Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Commentary of Charlton against Chelsea. Liam Rosenior's first game in charge of Chelsea. He's coming up on 5 Live after this game as the ball goes out of play for a Villa throw over on the far side, and once again the camera pans and focuses on Thomas Frank.
Well, it has been more than just a Thomas Frank chat in this game that we've seen, but is something going to drop? I spoke too soon, didn't I? Said there's got to be another goal. It's my fault yet again.
Well, there almost was 5 seconds later, but for a goal line clearance. But Villa at the moment are happy to take it into the corner. Rodgers has lost it though. It's gone out of play for a Tottenham throw. We've got 35 seconds of added time to play, but again there might be a little bit more because of those couple of injuries that happened right at the start of added time. On a dramatic day in the FA Cup, are we going to see another twist in another story? Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2. Tottenham with the throw deep in their own territory. You need some options here to try and help it over the halfway line. That's where they're trying to get it. It's cleared away by Bogard for Aston Villa. Now they'll pick it up on the right hand side, but they've lost it, and it's in field to Xavi Simons. Is there one last chance for Tottenham and for Thomas Frank to save their FA Cup campaign this season? It's Spence midway through the Villa half towards the penalty area, dispossessed on the edge of the box by Tielemans. Buendia then trying to bring it away for Villa. He's pressured by Spence, who gets the foot in, and it's won back by Archie Gray, the 19-year-old. Gray stepping away from the challenge of Tielemans, fires it into the area. It's blocked away and will break to Ollie Watkins, and Villa could wrap this up here. Played it forwards by Jadon Sancho, but only into Van der Ven, and Tottenham might get one more chance, who played the minimum 4 added minutes. As they come down the left-hand side, white shirts in the area, won't quite fall to Solanke. It's cleared away by Aston Villa, chested down by Danso. He's got to be careful, he's got Watkins right behind him in the centre circle. Sent forward once more by Archie Gray. Cleared away by Garcia for Aston Villa, and Watkins heads it on, and Bogard picked it up, and it's almost 2-on-1 here, and Villa really could wrap it up here. Morgan Rodgers bearing down on goal, still going Rodgers, and cleared away by Mickey van der Ven into those Villa fans who celebrate as the full-time whistle goes, and a familiar sound around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. More boos for Spurs and more boos for Thomas Frank. They did show a reaction in this second half. His players are still fighting for him, and it's all kicking off at the end between Mickey van der Ven. Bogard's involved as well. It is all spilling over between Tottenham's players and Aston Villa's players. This is the febrile atmosphere that is here at Tottenham at the moment. These players do care, they're still fighting, and at the moment it's all spilling over between them and Aston Villa. It is Villa who are through to the 4th round, but still questions persist, pressure persists on Tottenham and on Thomas Frank. Michael Brown.
Well, an ending like this right in front of those Villa supporters, whether they feel like they're celebrating too much. Paulinho, Van der Ven, all involved in a massive melee. Everybody darting from technical areas. We're not talking 5 or 10, we're talking 20, 25 people all around right near the goal. And then in front of those supporters, but it's Villa celebrating that desperate ending as Van der Ven boots the ball into that away end. The celebrations are up, it's still not settled down. The officials are looking at it. Let's move them all away, let's get them into the tunnel. After a great cup tie with lots of drama. Yes, Spurs have ended on a poor result, but Villa were fantastic overall with the quality they've shown and how to win away. Real professional performance. But yet again the officials are still looking at it. Clear them out and let's move away from it and dampen what we've just seen there. We don't really need to see that at the end of games, but we wanted drama, we wanted something of excitement, we got that.
Well, it has all simmered down now. Aston Villa's players were applauding that travelling contingent. There was a huge number of players, as Michael said. You had backroom staff, you had players all pushing and shoving. I can't see that any cards at that point were brandished. To be fair, there was so much going on that from our position in the gantry, if something had been shown, we may well have missed it. But now, Ezri Konsa and Marco Bizot of Aston Villa are going to shake the hands of the officials. And Thomas Frank now walks away from the Aston Villa fans, and he walks and applauds the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and the Tottenham fans who have stayed, and I would say it's probably around a third full at the moment, but that is only because the game's gone and the game's ended. There weren't that many fans that left before the end of full time, but they are applauding him. Thomas Frank fights to live another day. Michael Brown.
Yeah, he's got to. Now, I understand why there'll be a lot of fans will be after him, but come on, we've gone through it before. We've seen a reaction there, second half performance. It's a top Villa side who know how to win in these situations. There was fight, there was desire, lacking in a bit of quality, we know, but they were picked off in that first half. That's where the damage was done.
And it almost kicked off again there between Palini. He's having to be ushered away from Aston Villa's players. Dina was in there as well on the edge of the technical area. It's one of those where you kind of wish you could follow them down the tunnel and see what continues.
Yeah, Konza, Paulinho, Ollie Watkins, Morgan Rogers was one as well. He was right in the mix. Van der Ven seems to be carrying his left leg. Hopefully that's not too much of a problem going forward, but look at the fight and the passion here.
Yeah, that is one thing that we can certainly say from this game. Both sides went strong, it was hotly contested. It is Aston Villa who go through to the fourth round by beating Tottenham 2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and the drama continues in the FA Cup here on 5 Live. Coming up very shortly, Charlton against Chelsea. Let's hand you over to James Gregg.